going to give them one more minute. I know we're running late. They jumping on in here, too. We're running a little late. Apologize. But we got a really big show for y'all today. Hey, I'd like to thank Emmy for holding on. Emmy is always in first, man. He always through the door first. Thank you, Emmy. We appreciate your support. I'd like to welcome everyone to HBCU Coach's Corner. My name is Rocky, and I'm along with my co-host, Mr. Stephen Campbell, the bishop, the detective. And the prayer line will be open tonight, just so y'all know.
All right.
But for our featured guest, the man you all come to, our featured host rather, the man you all come to see, the SWAC legend himself, that man who one night in Mississippi against Willie Satellite Totten and Jerry Rice threw 6 touchdowns. He has also coached a SWAC MVP. He's also won a SWAC championship at his alma mater. None other than my man, Johnnie Cole. Hey, Coach, you've done a whole lot, Coach. It never failed me. I learned something about you. Every person I talk to, Coach, I was talking to Ashbury over at when we were in Grambling and when we were in Southern.
SWAC MEAC Challenge game.
At the SWAC MEAC Challenge. I learned something new about you. I talked to other guys. They tell me even more about you, Coach. Coach, you're a man that done lived several lives all into one, Coach.
Well,
you know,
first of all, I thank the man upstairs, man, who have blessed me. And next to them, man, I had 8 brothers, man, that really, really raised me, you know what I mean? And make sure I did the right things and learned the right things. And, you know, I was an athletic machine, you would say. But they kept me away from all the drugs and the streets and all that kind of stuff, man, and made me just focus on who I wanted to be and what I wanted to be. So it ain't me. And then, of course, I had a lot of great players, which we're going to bring on today, man, and a lot of super coaches around me. As you guys know, that they've went on and done great things. We got one in the SWAC right now. They're about to take the West. So, you know, I can't say enough, man. And I'm just that vessel, I guess, to be able to produce so much in such a short time that I had being in the game.
Yeah, Coach, it's hard to believe that, you know, your time in the game, though you've been around it basically your entire life, but your time as a head coach, coordinator, assistant, you put a lot in the time that you were given, the opportunities you were given to coaching. And Coach, it's remarkable that you were able to do all that in a really abbreviated career.
Without a doubt. You know, I still got gasoline in my tank, man. And, you know, I still got my whistle hung up in the closet and some of them old shoes I had. But, you know, man, hey, you know, if it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, man, look, I've done my deal. And this is my way of giving back, you know, coming on here every week with you guys. And I can't say enough about you guys, man, and the time we've been together and spent together in the last year. And over 2 million views, Coach, in 1 year, going into our second season. You know, we're going on the right path. So, you know, I'm very excited. Every Tuesday, I get opportunity to try to share the SWAC, the MEAC, and Black college coaches, you know, with our culture and who else is watching, you know, and be able to learn something on this show.
Hey, Campbell, I got to bring you in on this conversation right before we move on. Do you have any updates on anything that's going on with FAMU or anything around the SWAC you want to comment in before we move on to and bring our guest on?
Well, I'm going to say this. Our coach is preparing to play North Carolina Central. Says they're going to do some soul searching. That he's going to have to coach better, so he will be the coach on Saturday. That I can report. How about that?
Man, it's rough. It's rough. It's truly rough in the SWAC. And in the 5 years I've been covering the SWAC, been a huge fan. I always thought, and I've said this many times, I always thought that face painting, crazy stuff that white folks did with their colleges, I thought that was just white folks being white folks. But I've come to understand that this HBCU stuff may even be more serious in some ways. And so it's tremendous to see all of the fandom, the outright fanaticism, if that's a word, about how the SWAC and MEAC fans feel about their schools. I haven't seen a fight yet, but that ain't mean one ain't happened. But I just ain't seen it. So, and I'll ask Campbell this: has it always been that passionate since you've been watching the last 50 years you've been watching?
Man, listen, I'm gonna say this again. I think people that are fans, and man, this go all the way down to the high school level. You know what I mean? You go to certain towns, you know, people, man, they love their schools, you know, and for, you know, again, I know the football is not the same far as talent level, but people still love their schools. People still want to win championships. People still want to beat their rivals. That all matters. You know, this game that we're going to talk about, Alabama State and Jackson State. Hey, man, those people not worried about if Ole Miss is playing Alabama. They worry about Jackson State and Alabama State. That's a championship heavyweight fight. Everybody's going to be watching it. Everybody's going to be excited. Jackson State's homecoming. Alabama State's going to bring a lot of people. And for them, that is a big game. That's just as big as whoever's playing in the SEC that weekend. So, man, for me and for people that grew up with it and went to school and things like that, man, we love to see games like this. And all we want is just to see really good football. And we want our coaches to do well, and we want our schools to do well. So, you know, that's why I'm excited to talk to the young man, because he was one of those guys that people went to go see. You know what I mean? He kind of bought some seats in the building there, didn't he, Coach?
Hey, look, man, this guy could do it, boy. He could really do it, man. I was just excited, man. You know, he had been just inducted, and we'll talk about that. But, Coach, when you say Willie Totten, when you say Steve McNair, when you say Leon Murray, you say Darnell Kennedy. When you say Bruce Eugene, you say Darnell Kennedy. And this guy could do it, man. I had a great time of coaching him, and I want to bring him on, Coach. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the most prolific passers in SWAC history. And like I was just saying about the great ones, he finished number 6 in all-time passing back in 2021. I'm
2020,
sorry. Yeah,
2001.
2002. Yeah, 2001, 2002. And he's still ranked in the top 20 of all times. And now they're throwing the ball every down. I met him going into his junior year. He had started 2 years before us, but they were 2-9. I think he won 4 games before I showed up. And this kid he had everything, man. He could make every throw. He was an athlete. He was probably a better basketball player than a football player. But he was hungry. He was hungry. He wanted to be coached. We became real close, you know, on and off the field, man. And I tell you what, when he got it, we brought the hobo offense in there, man. He sucked it up like you sucking up some biscuit and some gravy. And he was able to change plays, recognize fronts, recognize coverages, get us in the right play. I can't say enough about him. My man, Darnell Kennedy.
I appreciate that, Coach. Thanks for bringing me on, man.
Yeah. Well, you know, man, we always talk about quarterbacks in the past and how we compare them now to then, man. You know, we still got to give you, and we have Bruce Eugene on last week. Of course, we have Willie Totten on. You know, your name is synonymous with them, man. You know, now that you see the future of the SWAC, and back when you played, what's your thoughts on how things are going as far as that quarterback position?
Man, I think it's fascinating how much it grew from, you know, the time when I played versus the time that it is now. You know, the offenses that they were running now, it seemed like it was the offense that we ran that we started running 20 years ago with the zone, a lot of the zone reads, a lot of the don't block the ends, you read the ends and you throw off the end, and you it's like a pass off the end. And just the freedom that they have now in that kind of offense that me and you had back then is just, I think we laid the blueprint as far as what teams are doing now.
Yeah. Well, and I probably need to start, man. Of course, we got a lot of Alabama State people watching, a lot of fans. You know, kind of tell us what you're doing now. Right after you got through, left to Alabama State, you played in the All-Star game. Kind of start from there to bring us to where you are today.
Well, you know, I played in the blue-gray game. I went in there and I was having a great week of practice, completing everything. I was talking to all kinds of NFL scouts. And then about 3 days in, they had a little mini combine thing where they do the measurements and all that kind of stuff. And then I weighed in at 185. So I was so after that, after I weighed in at 185, I didn't talk to another NFL coach after that. I was real friends with a scout that was from Mobile, and he went to he was the GM for the Baltimore Ravens at the time. And he was saying, man, you got to go out there and complete everything. If you're about to get signed by anybody. So you got to go out and play in this game. It'll be 100% in order to get a shot in the NFL. So I did get drafted. A team in Canada, they had my right. So I went up there to play in Canada. I played for 9 years. I played 3 years in Calgary. I was traded to Ottawa, played 3 years there. And then Ottawa folded and I played 1 year in Toronto. And then after that, I went to play a little bit of arena. I played arena for 5 years, 2 years for the Georgia Force. And then after that, I became a deputy sheriff, worked for the Clayton County Sheriff's Office for about 11 years, 5 years as a lieutenant for a fugitive unit. And then now I'm working for the Fulton County District Attorney's Office as a senior investigator.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Man,
Did a little coaching.
Wait, Coach, wait a minute. I'm going to let you get into it. But, Darnell, I want to say this. This is what an HBCU education does for you. This man is not a football player. This man is a professional who plays football. So I have to let people know how we move, Kennedy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just got to let see. People don't understand when you go to HBCU. This is what happens. You see what I'm saying? See, we get these jobs.
Them good jobs. Get them good jobs.
Anyway. So I just gotta set that table. So Coach, go ahead. You know, I want people to this ain't just a quarterback we talking to.
Man, my cheeks hurt from smiling because, man, this is what coaching is about. You know, seeing a young man, I had to put my foot in him, talk to him about how important education was. And, my biggest thing with Darnell is you're going to be judged by pass percentage and winning losses. And I remember one time watching film on him, and he would drive the team all the way down the field, from running most of the time and throwing. Then he would get down there inside the 5 and throw a damn interception. I said, see, Darnell, that's what you got to make us win. You can't give up. You can't because I'm tired. Let me just throw one in there. You got to make us win. And I think he bought into that. Well, how did you feel that I know we were a different staff from what you had, you were 2-9, 2 years straight back to back. What you think the difference about a winning coach? And I ain't gonna say the guys you had a losing coach, but they just didn't win with you guys.
Well, yeah, I came in with an old school coach. He was there at the school about 20 years before I got there. Mm-hmm. Coach Houston Markham. And I didn't go there to be the starter. Alabama State was my only scholarship. And then when I showed up to camp, I was the number 6 quarterback on the depth chart. So by the first game of the season, I ended up being like the backup. And we played Jackson State, and they kind of got into us a little bit. And he looked at me and said, let's see what the young guy can do. I went in there and went 6 for 8 and 100 yards, and I was the starter ever since. And so, just going through that, and I think we went, like you said, about 3-2-9 or 3 and something. And they ended up firing him. They brought in Coach Dickerson. We had a middle of the road season with Coach Dickerson. I kind of ran the option. mostly. And I think we went about 4-7-ish. And then the next season, I broke my foot the first game. And so when I broke my foot, they ended up losing a lot, and then they got fired, and then they brought you guys in.
Right.
So I think the difference in when y'all took over from Coach Dickerson to you guys, it was just you instilled a lot of confidence in a lot of guys. We won, we've been there, we did this, and we're gonna make y'all winners, and we're gonna give this to y'all, and we're gonna show y'all how to win. We're gonna show y'all how to act when you win, what it takes to win, how you got to go through practice, and what it takes to get to, and what it takes to be a winner or a champion. And a lot of the guys bought into it right then, because a lot of guys didn't want another coaching change. We already had been through 2, and then we just didn't want them just to hire anybody. So we kind of wanted to talk to the president and say, hey, can we put our word in for the next head coach? And we was talking about boycotting, but they already had hired you guys. You guys came in, and we bought in immediately.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you the backstory of how Donald Watkins was a board member. I'll give you the short story. He was looking for the best coach in the country. And of course, they were trying to talk about Alabama State moving to Division I. He said, well, if we move, because they already had the stadium that they play in now, they already had that on the board. So when they came down to visit, they said, well, who's the best black coaches in the country? Evidently, our names, me and my brother's name came up. And they came out and visited us and took us to steak dinner and recruited us big time. It's big time. And we agreed that we were going to come there and play. But while we on our way, once my brother resigned and then told my mama that Johnny don't need to be the head coach at Tennessee State, because Tennessee State had offered me the job after my brother left. And so, man, me being the little brother, I said, all right, man, damn it, I'm going. Where we going? So anyway, make a long story short, we up in the plane, great landing in Montgomery. They called us up in the plane. I never heard of that. They called you up in the plane because it was a private jet and said, the kids are boycotting. They don't want y'all here, So I remember LC said, hey, guys, don't worry about that. I'll handle that when we got there. And so finally we got there, and all the kids was in the auditorium with everything they wanted to say about what was going on. So that's how we got there. That's how it all started off. But they had recruited us to come there. So I didn't know if you even knew the backstory of how we got there. But one thing I knew, I said, they got a quarterback. We're going to be all right. My fiance said, did you boycott? Was you part of the boycott?
Well, I was part of the team, so the team do it. I got to do it. You know what I mean? So I can't be by myself. But I do remember that meet. I do remember our first meeting, Coach. Meeting, you brought me in the office and you said I wasn't nothing. And I said, "What? I just won freshman of the year. I was, all conference." And so that don't mean nothing. You get all your yards when the game over.
Right. and what's your record? That's what I say. What's your record?
What's your record? And all that, all the stats don't matter unless you're winning. Yeah, I remember all that.
That's it. I'm gonna let you guys go ahead. I know, Campbell, you got some stats and stuff, and we can't keep him long. He got to protect the judge tomorrow.
Well, Rocky, you want to go or you want me to go?
No, go ahead, Campbell. I'll defer to you.
All right. Well, listen here, Darnell. First of all, this is a pleasure. But, man, let me tell you something. And I kind of like to bring the historical perspective because I actually watched you play. Now, I'm going to bring something up because this week, who's playing makes a difference what I'm about to share. So as everybody knows, the game of the year is your alma mater against Jackson State. They're homecoming. But guess what? In 2001, it was their homecoming too. And guess what? I was in the building. I'm going to pull up something to show you all what happened in this game in 2001. Let me pull that up right here. And I want you to look at this. And let me know when you guys can see this. I'm going to try to see if I can make
Oh, my God.
Listen, now hold on, Rocky. Let me tell you how historic this game is. Wait a minute, hold on. let's see here. And I'll probably have to read it just to let everybody know. So Alabama State and Jackson State were 1-2. Okay. The quarterback that he was opposite of was Robert Superman Kent. Okay. There was a guy that was a wide receiver. Guess who his name is? T.C. Taylor, Jackson State's head coach. And then this game, I was sitting up here, this is homecoming. I bring all my homeboys from Atlanta. I said, man, listen, if you want to see something crazy, you got to come to me with Jackson State homecoming. They got this kid from Alabama State that's slinging, and Kent is crazy with it. So we're sitting up here, and man, all we see is touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. And Kent, and let me say this, you went for 5 touchdowns and 259. Kent went for was it 560? 560 and threw for a bunch of touchdowns. And T.C. Taylor had 14 catches for 200 yards. For 235 yards. Can you talk about that game? Do you remember that game and how crazy that game was going back and forth? And how history brings it back?
Man, that game was crazy. And it's crazy that they playing at the same time 25, 26 years later, right? So I know one thing I remember about that game. I remember about when I went to the stats. I was like, man, I had 5 touchdowns. I had to have about 500 yards. They said, man, you only threw for 200. I said, what? So, I think we had got a bunch of short fields and the running game was working pretty good. Man, it was just a shootout. I'm talking about we had to score every single drive. There was no drive we could take off. Every single drive, we had to go out there and score. We scored. We think we got the game under control. Then Kent come out there and he do his thing, and they go right down the field and they score. Then we had to come back and we score. And so eventually we had our last drive or so, we was trying to like run the clock out so they couldn't get the ball back. And then we ended up punching it in at the end. I think I threw a slant at the end to like seal it. And that kind of ended the game for us.
Let's get something straight. We led the whole game. Like we would go up 14, they would come right back. We go up another 7, they come right back. It was just back and forth. And that's
all you heard was the fans playing all night long. And Cats, Coach, you know I'm not lying. Because I wanted that
game must have lasted 5 hours.
It lasted 4 hours, Coach.
Right, because that game was in the day. Or was it
night? Yeah.
It started in the day.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, when we left out there, I'm like, the crazy thing, and I want to say this because I know we got to hear you there. What do you think about when you're talking about something historic? That was a historic game. You're talking, and same thing here. You're playing for the conference. That was the conference championship. Well, for that particular side,
it was.
And now you look at it 20 years, 25 years later, let's just say that, and you see an Andrew Bonney and you see the quarterback, Jacoby Morgan for Jackson State. Do you sit back and say, wow, this could be the same type of game? And have you followed that?
I did think that. I was at Alabama State's homecoming this weekend, and they were saying they had to go against Jackson State. And I said, whoa, Jackson State undefeated. Undefeated in the conference too. So this could be pretty much the same exact game that we just had back when I was playing, and it's gonna be at Jackson State. Now back then I didn't know it was Jackson State homecoming because I probably we should have scored 80 if I knew it was. They brought us in for their homecoming. But especially for them to go in there for their homecoming with the way Body's playing, with the way Jackson State quarterback is playing and their team is playing, man, that's set up to be a powerhouse matchup.
Well, I just had to get that out there because we got a lot of younger people, right? And they hear these names of Superman, Kent, and Kennedy and things like that. And I keep trying to tell people, man, we ain't new to this. We have had guys to have these great shootouts, these great teams, these great offense. I'm just keeping honest. Our offense is a little bit inept. It ain't like y'all day. You know what I mean? When we had that level of quality quarterback play. So it kind of hurts me. So I'm super excited because this is one of the few years, and I always say, and Nana, you're going to understand this, post-prime, people like Rocky, came in here with prime. The quarterback play has not been up to the standard when it was at your level, and when you're talking about Willie Todd and Steve McNair. So I'm super excited that we're going to see a quarterback battle in a big game like this. Yeah. Like I just had to put that out there. I'm going to let you go ahead and go.
No.
Let me get a backstory on that, too. The week before, we played Johnson C. Smith, and we scored 63. And then LC, like the head coach, he went to the quarterback meeting, and they like, oh man, that's Johnson C. Smith. We're gonna see what y'all do next week against Jackson State. But also, see, I didn't coach with no headsets, and I had on glasses. So they like, hey man, you gotta get your brother out the glass. He gotta put some headsets on. So then next week we roll into Jackson State, and talking to my man Darnell, he ended up putting 68 on Jackson State. So that kind of ended that.
Darnell, like I said, I recently watched your highlights, and you were a tremendous player, for sure. But you talked about how Coach Cole impacted you as a player. If you could name one or two things how he affected you as a player, can you just bring that out to see? Because here's my point. We always talk about when a quarterback position in the SWAC, one of the things is that it struggles because the coaches always end up pulling the quarterbacks, swapping quarterbacks. They're playing 2 guys, they're playing 3 guys. Coach Cole has always been a proponent that you find a guy and you stick with a guy and you develop that guy. But I want to know, what did Coach Cole put in you that allowed you to be the player that you were as a quarterback?
I mean, I don't know if you caught it earlier when he said that. He sat me down, and when I drive down the field and I get us down to the 5 and I end up throwing the interception previously, he sat me down in that office after he told me I wasn't nothing and all that kind of stuff. He said, you have to be the reason, not why we win, but you have to be the reason why your team believes they can win. You know what I mean? So it was so I did everything in my power as far as that's working harder, if that's watching more film, if it's learning more plays. I had to learn everybody's position so I can tell them what they had to do if they broke out of the huddle and didn't know what they was doing. So I had to be able to tell them, hey, you got to post on this. You got to dig on this route. I when we come up to the line and they give me the look I want, hey, coach, can I run this? Go ahead and run it. Hey, and we running it. So the faith that he had in me, the confidence that he had in me, really pushed me to be much better than I was in my freshman and sophomore year. And I was really good my freshman and sophomore year. But I tell everybody, man, I became great with them because he gave me that mindset of, you have to make these guys believe you're going to win. Not because you play quarterback, not because you Darnell Kennedy, not because you threw off all these yards. Only reason they're going to believe you're going to win is because you playing quarterback. And you got to do everything else other than giving me passing yards, completing passes, that's going to make them believe that. So you got to do all the small things, intangible things. That's being the last one off the field and after practice. That's the one taking all the reps in practice. I did scout teams sometimes. I might be running a couple routes in practice. You know what I mean? Just to let them know I'm here to do everything we can to make us win. And that just didn't stop at the game. That started in practice. That started, in the dorm room. That started in the calf. Whatever we did, I did that for my team.
Now, Rocky, we went and recruited a quarterback from Oklahoma State. All right, and we brought him in. Damn, I can't. Damn, what was his name, Darnell?
There you go, BJ.
BJ Tiger. Oklahoma State coach, 6'2", nice arm. I'm sitting in the room with both of them. I recruited both of them. I said, look, y'all both, and both of them was hella athletes. Here's the crazy part about it. I said, well, BJ, look here, man. This guy's he's in front of you. Just like the Shador Sanders and the kid at the Browns. The kid in front of Shador played that in that offense. Darnell was already set in our offense. And I just told BJ, man, look, I need both of y'all on this field. And I ended up moving him to wide out. And both of them made All-American. Both of them made the All-American team. Him in the wide out team.
Yeah, BJ ended up catching 1,000 yards. He's been 1,000-yard receiver.
Yeah.
So, and people ask me what was my best year or best season. And was it the senior year or the junior year? I don't know if you know this, Coach, but my junior year, right? Because we was trying to look back and see why we didn't get to the championship game my junior year. And we was like, well, we don't have a 1,000-yard receiver. We didn't have a 1,000-yard back. So we got to get that in my senior year. And we ended up getting that in the senior year. But the junior year, I think we had about 4,000 yards passing, guys.
Yeah.
And we didn't have a single 1,000-yard receiver.
Yeah.
We didn't have I think we had 2 with 9, 1 with 8, 2 tight ends with 600 yards. If you ask me what was my best college season, I will point to that junior season. Because everybody caught the ball. It was no favorites. It was nothing the defense could do to stop us.
The reason why we didn't go is because we lost to Alabama A&M in the Magic City Classic. We both had the same record. And I don't know, remember we had just won and we were waiting on Alabama A&M. They were playing Mississippi Valley and they were down.
And they were down.
Yep. Hail Mary to win the damn game. We was on our way to play Grambling again. And the next year we made it clear. We beat Alabama A&M. What we scored, about 50 on them?
Yeah, to 0. 45-0. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't even close. Yeah.
No, it wasn't even.
Hey, we're going to take Coach, I need to step in here and do something right quick. Hey, I want to thank everybody who's been watching this on Off Script. As we usually do, we're going to suspend this live on the Off Script channel and continue it on the Rocky Miller channel, the home of the HBCU Coach's Corner. And you guys can go ahead, Coach. Go ahead and resume the conversation.
Yeah, hey, man, I ain't going to hold you long, Darnell. Like I said, I want to make sure, man, that first I appreciate you allowing me to be a part of your life and taking what I had to offer in and taking it to another level. You know, I've always tell people, man, I had great players, and I tell you, you didn't play football, you were a football player, man, and I appreciate that, and I want to make sure that people don't forget you. Look, you need to be coaching somewhere, you know, but hey, man, I know you got everything stable. You married now, right?
I am married. I got 2 kids. I got 3 kids. One from a past marriage, but I got 2 that stay with me, and the other one, she's 21 now. But I do coach with my wife. I'm an assistant basketball coach.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of the stuff you taught me about the leadership part, that's what I'm trying to teach them. You know what I mean? As far as being a leader, because it's basketball, right? It's different from football. But, you know, I did want to get into some training with the kids, but I'm trying to find the right age group, right? Because when I was talking about us, right, as far as quarterbacks and quarterbacks that look like us, right, I think a lot of the kids are getting handicapped because they're not being taught how to play quarterback. You know, they get high school coaches that rely on their athleticism and relying on their athleticism to win games versus teaching them how to play the position. And so let's just think, if an athletic quarterback like myself learned how to play the position where you can read defenses and read coverages or look at the fronts and know where the run's supposed to go, what the protection's supposed to be, and cover 2, cover 4, and you learn all that and nothing to defense, and you always finding the open person and completing passes and then I can run the ball if you cover everything, you know what I mean, in your back pocket. Just think how much longer you'll be able to play this game in the NFL and stuff like that. So that is my dream as far as trying to, you know, train kids, coach kids and stuff like that, as far as trying to be quarterback and not just a athletic guy playing quarterback.
Let me ask you this, Darnell. Are you open to come in and mentor some of these young quarterbacks in the SWAC or the SIAC or whatever? Not necessarily coach, but I think some of the things like the leadership aspect of it is important. And I know that a lot of guys, in my opinion, struggle with that because of the way the coaches handle them, pulling them in, how can you be established leadership when you don't know how much you're going to play each and every Saturday that you're coming to the game? I know you never had to deal with that, but is there a place to be a leader in that particular situation? Are there some mentorship opportunity that you would be willing to receive if Coach Cole called you or something like that to mentor a guy? Because I think there's a lot of really talented guys in the SWAC, but they may need some pep talks or some guidance that could probably assist them navigate what I think is a very difficult situation in the SWAC with guys being yo-yoed at the position.
That's very true. I mean, I would absolutely love to mentor some guys and show them the way, just give them some, just give them hope and just try to teach them some of the things that I was taught when I was playing quarterback and when I was in the SWAC and when I was playing. But that two quarterback system, man, is hard to deal with, man, because a lot of the things that a quarterback needs to do, you have to build it up. You know what I mean? The rhythm has to be there. I got to be able to complete. Like, honestly, I went into every game not feeling like I wasn't going to complete a pass. I was that nervous until I completed one. Once I completed that hitch or once I completed that slant, then we was off and running. Yeah. I mean, really, if the defense knew, all they had to do was give me to have my first pass be incomplete, then they would have had a chance. But, those guys need that confidence. And if they have to come out every time they have an incomplete pass, or if they come out every time they make a bad read, then, what are they really learning? You know what I mean? Because you have to learn from your mistakes. You know what I mean? You have to learn from what you're doing wrong.
Hey, Darnell, I'm sorry, Brian, were you about to say something else?
Well, I was just going to simply ask a question. Man, you made me lose my train of thought. Go ahead, Mr. Campbell.
I'm sorry.
I wouldn't mind saying one thing else too. One thing JC told me, because it was at one point where I got every rep in practice, every single rep. That's scout team, that's first team rep, second team rep. I got every rep, right? And if a receiver dropped the ball, coach, it was my fault. I'm supposed to know what kind of ball I'm supposed to throw for every single receiver that's going to catch a pass from me. You understand what I'm saying? So how can a quarterback do that if they're not playing the entire game? You know what I mean?
I remember what I was going to ask you, Darnell, and I want you to be honest, right? You're not a coach or anything like that, so you don't have to be beholden to somebody. Does it take a quarterback to coach a quarterback how to be a quarterback?
Does it take a quarterback to coach a quarterback how to be the quarterback?
Yes.
No. Hold on. Let me think about that. And it depends on what is that coach got to teach the quarterback. Do you know the mechanics of throwing the football? Is he trying to learn to read? Is he, you know what I mean? Is it footwork? Is it timing? Is it,
So this is a conversation that Coach Cole has been a proponent of. Offensive line
I think it's hard for a guy that has never played quarterback before to teach a quarterback how to be a quarterback, especially if you want him to be a good quarterback. Now, if I was as a quarterback, what I've been through in college, I could teach an offensive lineman the concept of pass protection, the concept of run blocking, but I can't teach him how to run block. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. And that's one thing that Coach Cole has pointed out is that you need a quarterback who's been in a situation where those live bullets are flying. Right. Offensive lineman, a wide receiver, a running back, they could teach you probably the proper footwork, the mechanics of the position, whatever. But if you've never dealt with live bullets as a quarterback, Coach Cole's contention is you're going to miss something in the coaching process or in the development process of a quarterback because you have to understand what he's going through. And I would just wonder, as one of his pupils at quarterback, did you feel the same way he felt about that? That he believes that he had an advantage of being able to develop quarterbacks because he was an actual quarterback. So he was able to have guys like Leon Murray and Darnell Kennedy and guys like that. He was able to impact you that way.
Yeah.
Now, as I look back at it, I think I had a really good coach my freshman year, but he wasn't really teaching me mechanics and all that kind of stuff. It was Dieter Brock. He was a quarterback that played for the Rams. But I didn't have that much time with him because I'm 17, just coming out of high school, so I'm trying to learn how to play college football versus how to be a quarterback, right? And we was trying to win games as I was being a freshman starting quarterback. So really, Coach Cole is really the only quarterback coach that I pretty much. Well, I had Ben Harris, so I did have a really good coach in Ben Harris. So, but Ben Harris wasn't the offensive coordinator. So having JC as my quarterback coach and the offensive coordinator, it was totally different than anything that I had experienced in college.
Yeah, Darnell, let me ask you this, because we had the great Bruce Eugene on last week. And it is literally verbatim what he said about things and knowledge you had to know about quarterback, the checks, line protections, switch play. So talk about, because I'm going to set this up two ways. Mm-hmm. Why were you guys, the Kents, the Willie, you guys were able to look at a defense, check off to another play, slide protection, things like that, compared to the quarterbacks now, where everybody's looking to the sideline, and if the defense moves, they still run the same play. Why do you think the level of quarterback comprehension has gotten so low? I mean, it's unbelievable. I listened to you. You and Bruce Eugene literally said the same thing, which, again, look at your stats. You're talking about guys that threw for 4,000 yards, 40 touchdowns, 50 touchdowns, where you got guys now that can barely run an offense, and if the defensive line shifts, they still run the same play. Can you talk about what has happened with that?
Yeah, and that goes back to what I was saying before with the high school coach or the college coach is handicapping the kid by not teaching them defensive fronts. Like when I was in college, man, I really believed that anybody could have did what I did. Like the backup quarterback, if he was put in the same position, we gave him JC and all that kind of stuff, he could have went out there and did the same thing I did, right? He would have had the same amount of yards. He would have completed the same passes or whatever the case might be, until I went to professional football. And then you realize these guys go into meetings and they just cannot comprehend it. I don't know if they've never been taught it. I don't know if they, you know what I mean? I don't know if they never saw it before or never heard of it, but these college coaches try to get into a position where they're trying to make the perfect play call, and the defense changed the play, and the quarterback has, but the offensive coordinator called the play for what they was in the beginning, right? So now the defense changes when the quarterback comes back to the line, and he's confused about what just happened. Versus, I learned what play we had to run, what play was good versus this front. Okay, what play is good versus this coverage. So once I learned that, it didn't matter what they came out in. I was going to put us in that play that was good against that front. I was going to put us in that play that was good against that coverage. So it didn't matter what they played. I was going to put us in the right play. Unless it was third down, and Coach said don't change the play on third down. So
That was my down.
That was his down. I couldn't change the play on third down.
I appreciate that, because the level is, and again, somebody has watched all the greats come through, see you and Bruce Eugene, and to hear literally the same thing, and to watch what we put on the field, where literally we got 12 teams in the SWAC and only 2 quarterbacks that are competent. Maybe another guy, you know what I mean? But I'm just talking about, that's why we're so excited about this game, Jack State and Alabama State, where we want to see competent quarterback play. So when I'm sitting back and looking at you and Robert Kent, one guy throwing for 600 yards, another guy, because of short kick, was still threw for 5 touchdowns, and you got receivers running complex routes, and I'm sitting up and watching the game, and I'm sitting up here seeing you telling the guy, because people understand, Jack State had players on that defense, NFL-type players, and you're sitting up and they're switching it, and you're like, wait a minute. And I'm seeing you and not looking at the coach. You're looking at your guy saying, hey, you know what? This is what we're doing. I will never forget. You did a check, and you probably don't remember this, because the reason why they switched something and you saw it. I think maybe that's when you talk about that slant. And you looked at that guy and everybody just kind of froze and it was gone. Touchdown. One of those plays. And it was just obvious that, like you said, you knew, and you like, I can't believe they just moved we getting ready to move this play because it clearly wasn't the play that y'all called. It was so obvious.
Right? Yeah.
You know,
Well, okay. Go ahead, Coach.
No. What I was simply saying, Darnell, what I think one of the deals is, if I've watched games with Coach Cole, I watched games with Scotty, and those guys are able to recognize things based on alignment about what's available to the offense, right?
Right.
How many times did you just get, it wasn't necessarily your rocket arm or your amazing speed. You just checked to, they playing off coverage. I'm going to throw the hitch. That's a free 5 yards. Let's check to that. How many times did that happen over the course of your career, just taking what the defense is offering?
So let me tell you, it was this one play we were playing Grambling, and they gave us 0, right? Now I could have just blocked everybody up, slid the line, and and pulled everybody up, and I could have threw a post and threw it deep and all that kind of stuff, and it would have been the same results. But we had this play we was working on, and it was a shovel pass where I told him to let go of the end, and I run and I challenge the end. As soon as he come up the field, I'm gonna shovel pass it to the running back that's trailing me, and I checked to that play instead. That play went 35 yards to the house. So it ain't always about the big plays and all that. I always took what the defense took, because sometimes I would check to just a curl. We had this route called 67 where the guy runs 15 yards and he's gonna stop. But I'm throwing it before he's stopping. I just know where he's gonna stop. So I just throw it and he stops and catch the ball. So I check to that over and over again. Well, I always took I never cared about, throwing the deep ball. I mean, I could throw it. I like throwing the deep ball, but it's those small throws, those in between, those in the seam throws, those little curl routes, they set up the long throws. So I always check to those first. That was my first check.
Because in your era, and I'm watching your highlights, everything looked easy. It almost looked like I know they had DBs out there. I know there were linebackers out there. I know there were defensive linemen rushing. But when I'm watching your highlight reel and your game film, everything looked like everybody's wide open. So I know it had to be some adjustments that were made to where you were able just to get to the right guy.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was the way I saw the defense, and then the way Coach called the plays. I just always was able to find the person. I was always, no matter which way, whether it was which way the linebacker was dropping, whether he jumped on this route and I took the route behind him, or he stayed with that route and I took the route in front of him. I always wanted to know what the defense was doing. That way it made it easier for me to know what I was doing. And I just knew where to go with the ball at the top of my drop. You know what I mean?
I got to ask you this before you get out of here. You're a great player, and it's obvious that you were a cerebral player. You were a great athlete with athleticism, but you were a cerebral player. I know you have your career that you're in now, but is it ever been in your mind to give back to the game that gave you so much as a coach or in some other capacity?
Yeah, I have been coaching. I used to coach football, but my schedule before I went to the sheriff's office, before I became the lieutenant of the fugitive squad, and when you work for the fugitive squad in Clayton County, that's like you hunt down like people that committed serious felonies, right? The 7 deadly sins: murder, rape, child molestation, stuff like that, right? So the unique thing about working in Clayton County is that as soon as the murder happens, as soon as the rape happens, my sheriff like us for us to find that person before the sun come up. And that's holidays, weekends, whatever. So I kind of didn't have the time to like put into coaching the kids in high school. So I had to stop coaching. And then once I was able to go to the district attorney's office, then now I have the time. So now I'm trying to find, a team that could use me, or, during my free time or whatever the case might be during football season, because basketball season, I'm my wife's assistant in basketball. But I love to give quarterbacks, especially ones that any quarterback, but especially the ones that look like us, the game on how to be a quarterback especially nowadays because everybody's getting an opportunity to play. Back then, I couldn't get an opportunity to play because of my size or whatever the case might be. But now I just want to give everybody that opportunity because I know what's needed, especially on that level. Because you cannot go to that level without being able to read the defense. You can't do it.
Are you an Alabama guy? Did you grow up in Alabama or?
I grew up in Mobile, Alabama. I went to LaFleur High School, and and Alabama State gave me a shot, even though they didn't want to, but they gave me a shot, and look what happened.
Now, wait a minute, correct me if I'm wrong. Is LaFleur the Rattlers?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
So we kind of like cousins a little bit. You know what I mean?
Stole our colors and everything. Then Jack put on the jersey and had people thinking that was our jersey, y'all high school jersey.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I hear you talk, man, and you got the resume, Darnell, to start your own stuff. I mean, you're sitting in the mecca of athletes, football players. You just probably got to make the right contacts, and you don't have a quarterback camp yourself. And with your resume and get some flyers out, man, and maybe I hook you up with a couple of coaches over there and have it at either some high school or at the college. And you actually can make that happen, man. I know you can. I mean, you were cerebral, and like I take the word out of the coach's mouth. I'll only have to tell you once or twice, what to look at, what's the right plays to run to, each technique, and a lot of people don't understand that. They don't understand
they don't.
That the job of offensive coordinator, man, is to make sure if I don't put you in the right play, that you know that you could check it to the right play. Right. And as we see now, Rocky and Bishop, we sit and watched, and like you just said earlier, once the play is called, they don't, regardless of what the defense is, they play it. They just run the play, and run some successful plays in the front. One of the things, though, I want to say was, you put the time in, and you made it clear that you wanted to be great, and you was exactly that. You were great to coach. You were easy to coach, because you loved the game. I don't know, what do you think of the offenses now can compare to the offense that we ran?
I think
because
the offense is.
we did gun in underneath.
Yeah, we did everything. How I'll tell you, big offense. It didn't matter it didn't matter about the shotgun or underneath or whatever, because we still threw streaks from underneath. We threw the seam route, play action, we bootleg. We did it. I think a lot of the offenses now are handicapping guys because a lot of quarterbacks now don't get the concept of timing. On why you take a 3-step drop to throw a slant, or why you take a 3-step drop to throw a quick out, or a 5-step drop, and why you don't hitch when you take 5 steps to throw a deep out, or why you hitching when you have to throw a comeback route, or why you hitch to throw a curve route. And then now you done put shotgun in the mix, and then they still have to throw these quick slants, and you see quarterbacks taking drops. NFL quarterbacks taking drops to throw these quick slants, and they wondering why they late. But you'd already, and they sitting there 5 yards. So all you got to do is catch and throw. Find the strings, maybe, but all it is catch and throw the hitch out there. Catch and throw a slant, and now you on time. Or when you're throwing a quick out, the only time I would drop if I'm throwing a quick slant in a shotgun is like if I'm trying to let this guy defeat press, so he can go in and out. Then I might take a step or two and then hit him in his chest on the slant route. But I think a lot of the people don't get the concept of timing. I think I was really good on knowing why, things had to come out at a certain time. You helped out a lot with that, with giving me depth and yardage and what the reaction time of the DBs and stuff like that. So I don't think they're getting taught that concept, that part of reading the defense or why the offense have to be this way.
Hey, Coach, wait a minute. Listen, you just gave me. So D, let me tell you something. I'm all about making money right here. Let me tell you what we need to do right here. He is in Atlanta. Bruce Eugene is in Atlanta. I'm telling you what we need to do. You need to call Doug Williams, to call Arthur Blank, and we need to have our own Black Elite 11. Hosted by Darnell Kennedy and you, Coach, you come down and we get the 11 best black college quarterbacks and the 11 best black quarterbacks in the Southeast. And we have the NFL to sponsor that because they got all that money that they say they want to have little black folks out. And Coach, I'm telling you, and you have Doug Williams, we have a banquet. We can do it. We do it at the practice field when the Falcons not doing anything with two legends. Coach, listen.
What y'all gonna call it? The Black 11?
Man, listen. Hey, listen. Bro, listen. We'll call it the Black Diamonds. We'll call it the Black Gunslingers. Hey, listen, I'll come up with a name that we'll trademark. We can call it the Black Gunslinger 11.
Hey, don't tell them, don't leave you out, Coach. Don't tell them they can't leave.
Y'all put me in a tough situation because guess what? I got 2 more All-American quarterbacks.
No, you ain't put us in no tough situation. What you doing is making so when we go to tell Doug this idea to get that NFL money and talk to Troy Vincent, you see what I'm saying? Because he runs all that. Let's present this to Troy and say, listen, Arthur Blank like to give a lot of money. Arthur Blank is a really great owner. And I'm going to say he does a lot of stuff for HBCUs in this area. And I'm talking about if we get these quarterbacks and listen to what Bruce Eugene, because see, Donnie, let me tell you something. The only way our product is going to get better, it has to start at the quarterback position. And you know
it has to. It has to.
Because that's the reason why for me, when I just cringe when I see the level of quarterback play, and we're sitting up here got guys, like you said, that has the ability, and not only that, and I think this is very important, the life skills that you say, let me tell you what being a quarterback is. It also means something in your job because, Travis, you say you change the future, you got to think really quick on your feet too.
Oh, yeah.
You see that processing and things. So, Coach, I'm just telling you, we need to put this together. We know all the right people. And listen, I will front some of the money. Listen, if we got to find it, because I know, hey, listen, I know folks. I'm internationally known and locally loved. Hey, we get TC Taylor to come over there. You see what I'm saying? Man, we can get some people where this thing could be a really big thing. So, Darnell, I'm just trying to tell you, you are motivated because the only way we're going to be successful if we bring people like you and Coach Cole and those people to teach these young. Because you know another thing too? If we teach these guys, then they have a potential chance to go to the NFL.
That's true.
So,
Coach, and I'm talking about.
Now, Darnell, what you think about that idea?
I love it. I'm here for it. I love it, man. Because I mean, these guys have to. It makes me cringe, man. When I look at them talk about quarterbacks and I'm watching their feet and watching them throw and what they're looking at and all this kind of stuff, man. I can't stand it when ESPN says, this receiver. I don't know if I can say that on y'all thing, but you said it.
Yeah,
but
you can.
We got to get this receiver X amount of targets, or we got to get that receiver X amount of targets. The play never told me who to throw to. The defense does. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't care about the primary receiver. Yeah, it gave me something to look at first, but the defense is going to tell me where to go with the ball.
Say that again, Darnell.
Yeah, the play don't tell me who to throw the ball to. The defense tell me who to throw the ball to. So I can't be dropping back saying I'm finna go to the number one guy. So that's what these guys been doing. They've been going back and all they're looking for is trying to throw it to the number one guy and wonder why they're throwing picks. You know what I mean? And then.
Yeah, let me say this because I'm smiling, man, because my cheeks is hurt. Tell me this. You leave Alabama State, you go to Canadian football, you there, how much of your experience and what you learned at Alabama State when you walked up in the Canadian, you're like, oh, I know what that is. I know what that is.
Coach, it was the exact same stuff we've been running because every run play in Canada, because we play with 12. So every run play in Canada, they don't block the end. So, and there was no rule for the offensive line to go down the field. So every play, whether you call it run or pass, could be a pass play. Because the backside receivers run routes. They run like a corner, they run like a hitch in a corner or a dig in an out or whatever the case. So whatever the end does, if he stays out and play me, I'm going to hand it off and the running back to run. If he jumps down and take the running back, I'm going to pull it and I'm going to go out here and throw the ball. So a lot of the stuff I already knew. So I didn't even have to, you know what I mean? I didn't even have to I didn't have anything new to learn because I already knew pretty much everything when I went to Canada. The problem in Canada is just they only had 9 teams and quarterbacks play in Canada till they 50. Oh.
Ain't no room for no
And
new
I
ones.
was really good friends. Yeah. I was really good friends with like Damon Allen. He was that's Marcus Allen's brother. And he played until he was 45. And when I got there, he was probably 30. You know what I mean? So he played another 15 years. So it was hard to break into that starting quarterback role. I mean, I made it 9 years as a backup, but I started a few years, but got hurt. But
Now,
I
Darnell,
didn't have nothing new to learn.
Darnell, are you in the Black College Hall of Fame?
No, sir. I just made it to Alabama State Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Oh, you in the Alabama State Hall of Fame too now? You're
Yes,
in your
sir.
school's Hall of Fame this past week, right?
My high school, yes, sir.
And when you gonna be inducted to the Alabama State Hall of Fame?
That was about 2 years ago.
Oh wow! Well, thanks
2
for
years ago.
inviting
3 years
Thanks
ago.
for inviting me.
Now, Darnell, I'm surprised that you and Coach Eugene are not in the Black College Football Hall of Fame. So I want to ask Coach Cole, why aren't those guys in the Black College Hall of Fame, Coach?
Well, the school SID and somebody have to nominate them and send their information to Doug Williams and Shaq Harris. They got a voting thing, and you had to be out for so long. But both of you guys have been out long enough that the numbers that y'all picked up, y'all should be what they call first ballot guys.
Yeah. Well, I do want to correct you though, Coach, because you said I was like number 6, but when I left college, I was 3.
Number 3 in NCAA
in all of college football, and it wasn't even close.
What was your total number of y'all?
1280 something. 12. Okay. Yeah, 12,800. Huh?
Well, listen, bro, I got you. 12,888 yards.
There you go.
On time, and you were the school pass leader with 11,753 yards. Yeah.
There you go.
See, I come prepared, D. I come prepared.
You did.
So this is the question. I'm gonna address this one right here. This guy says it's about 100 people deserving not in. Here's my point. If you can't put the guys in who have the statistical, verifiable numbers, quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and if you can't put those guys in that are at the top of the list when it comes to stats, then why do you even have a Hall of Fame? If Bruce Eugene, go ahead.
Because somebody just literally texted me that is very big time. Hey man, we got a lot of important HBCU people watching this. They said what the issue is not that they won't get in, but when they started, they got to get all those Hall of Fame guys in first, and that's how they kind of done it. So it's just an attrition thing. It's not the disrespect to him and Bruce Eugene. And I'll just use an example. You got to get Jerry Rice and Walter Payton in first, and then get these guys in. So that's what they're moving through the decades and getting guys in. I just get this from a big time person that's watching this show. So they said it's not that those guys are not going to get in, but that's what it is. And they're not putting 30 people in per class. It's like, Coach, how many people is like 4 or 5 at max that they kind of do?
Yeah, they do about 7 people sometimes.
So Rocky, if you do 7 and you go back, you see what I'm saying? That's kind
well, it seemed like to me when I looked at the people that are in the Black College Football Hall of Fame, they really only taking the former NFL guys. Like that's. Am I lying, Coach Cole?
But Rocky, that's what I'm saying. But look at that. But see, you're proving my point. Think about the young guys. Those guys some of them are Hall of Fame type guys. So if you're just going to start, Coach, how long has the Black College Hall of Fame been around?
Y'all gonna get me in trouble.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this.
But I'm defending the point. But because the Black College, it's not been around for 40 years, though. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So just by nature and attrition, you got to start with the old guys. I mean, because you want to, and not being funny, you do want to get those guys they fly before they pass away. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, out of respect to that, it's not that those guys are not worthy. I think because it just started and they're moving and progressing through. So I'm pretty sure in the next 5 years, my guy right here will be right there on it. So I just wanted to say that.
Well, they should, because Jay Skywalker just got in, and he played in '96.
Yeah, so
these guys should be on the next
NFL guys.
Yeah.
He wasn't nowhere. Jay was a good player. Don't get me wrong, but he wasn't nowhere near these cats, man. These Toddens and Darnell Kennedys and Leon Murrays and these cats, they threw 3,000 yards a year.
Yeah,
you know. So
only thing I would say, I would encourage everybody to go to the Black College Hall of Fame website, see the guys that are in the Hall of Fame, right? And I think it skews heavily toward guys who have NFL experience. I'm not able to talk about whether or not these guys are valid Hall of Famers. I trust that the men on those committees are selecting guys that are certainly worthy of consideration. My only point is that how can you have a guy that's been out of college almost 25 years, left college with the third, the career passing was ranked third among all NCAA passers in history, and this guy isn't in? Why even have a Hall of Fame if that guy can't get in?
But you're making it seem like that he's been like with T.O., he didn't get on the first round. Now he hasn't even been nominated yet. This is a first ballot guy we talking to. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. And Rocky, let me tell you this, and this is no disrespect for you, but please and believe, those guys you're talking about, those guys, just like Darnell, were 4-time All-MEAC, 4-time All.
No, I'm not doubting that. That's not what I'm doubting. What I'm saying is, Mr. Kennedy made his mark on the SWAC and NCAA football, and he should be recognized as a Black College Football Hall of Famer. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, that's why. But I wanted, because I got the text and I wanted to clear it because it was making it seem like that they were passing them over, and we.
No. I'm not insinuating anything. I'm just looking at him and Bruce Eugene aren't in, and they made an indelible impression on the SWAC. You can't tell the story of the SWAC and Black college football without mentioning Bruce Eugene and Darnell Kennedy.
I appreciate that.
I'm gonna say this. The bottom line is we're gonna have this black quarterback camp. And we'll do the same weekend as your Hall of Fame, because I think that's in the summer. So all I know is we're gonna have this black quarterback camp. That's why I'm gonna get your number, coach, because I already got Bruce Eugene's number, because we're gonna power on this.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it, because we can get it done. I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's no problem. So I'm gonna make it happen. So Rocky, I'm just gonna say this from somebody who went from Jackson, saw all the greats, went to Florida A&M. It is a privilege to talk to you. I am proud of I'm a little bit older than you, but I'm proud of the man you are, and you once again proved why it's always good to go to HBCU. I'm gonna keep saying it, man. I'm proud of you, man, for real.
I appreciate that, man. That's a humbling statement you just made, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Darnell. Is there anything you'd like to say before you get out of here, sir?
I'd just like to thank everybody that came to the show and listened to me ramble on about my time at Alabama State and my life, and all the things that I was able to accomplish through God's help. And I just wish everybody the best. I like what y'all got going on here on this show, and keep it going.
Hey, do you have a prediction for this weekend's big game?
I gotta go with Alabama State, baby. We gotta take it. We gotta bring it home.
Hey, and can Andrew Body be one of the next great Alabama State QBs?
Absolutely. The funny thing is, I liked them last year, and I was trying to figure out why they wouldn't, why they really wasn't letting them throw. And the only thing I can come up with is he probably had the shoulder injury, before the season started, and they probably just trying to make it through the end of the season and just let him be the running quarterback for the season. But he took that hit and got hurt. But I was liking the way he was throwing the ball last year, and to see what he's doing now and what he did against UAB, and man, I'm just excited. I'm ready to see what the future holds for that young man.
Well, thank you, man. Hey, AB is somebody that we root for, or I root for. I won't talk to Well, I can speak for
Doing
Campbell,
that.
and well, like I say, Mr. Hold on for a little bit. We got somebody in here that hey, who is this guy that didn't crash the party?
Well, hey, I'm gonna come in because I think Darnell is one of the greatest quarterbacks in SWAC history to me. I'm not just being biased.
There you go.
But I just said, here's a
legend.
young man went through 3 different coaches and put up those kind of numbers. You can't stay but take
LC.
a for a guy like him.
You said LC, hey, coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's right here, coach.
You got him?
Yeah.
I can't hear him.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, if you get off your phone, you can.
That is true, LC. I have 3 head coaches. Yeah, 3 head coaches.
3 head coaches and put up those kind of numbers and took a team to the SWAC.
Oh, is he talking?
Yes.
Yeah, coach.
Yeah.
I can't hear him. Oh, there he is.
Yeah. And then you think about all the receivers that he that end up coming SWAC receivers, and he delivered the ball to all those guys. Was able to, to keep all those guys happy, and was able to, share the ball around the field and all that.
Yeah.
LC, let me ask you this. Coach Cole tells a story about how you came in under a very hostile situation when the boys wanted to revolt because they didn't have any input on the coach.
Yeah.
Well, what did you say to ease their mind?
Well, when I came on the airplane, Johnny and I was on the airplane, we was flying, and I heard the president them talking, hey, that they over there, boycotting over at the president's office and everything that they were bringing in. They told security to, make sure they got everything cleared up and stuff. I started to tell them, hey, man, you need to turn this plane around, man, and send me back on to Tennessee State. But I said I had something for them. So when I came in there, we sitting there talking. And I just told the guys, hey, it's only going to be one way, and that's my way. And if you don't like my way, hit the highway. That's it.
Hey, you remember you told him too, say, look, I came from a 2-time championship team. Shit, I'm kind of sad too.
Yeah. Hey, we won 2 championships and could have turned around and won a couple more at Tennessee State. But, we came down to Alabama State and, brought that good hospitality down there and really appreciated the fans down, very loyal fans down there. And, things just, we took it to the top. Sometimes the administration won't, sometimes they don't like that. And so things happen, but, it was great. We had some great players, and Darnell Kennedy was one of those great players that we had on that program. And think about, we had BJ Tiger, another guy came in from Oklahoma State, was a quarterback, but he couldn't, he didn't have the magic that Darnell had. The story about Darnell, I'm always going to tell you, and the players will always tell you, when we always got ready to get on the bus, I would always say, is Darnell on the bus? And somebody say, yeah. I said, well, let's go. Because that's all we needed for the quarterback.
Well, Darnell, what was our favorite song? What was the last $2?
I know it was so heavy. I just talked to Wilkerson about that. Who sung Johnnie Taylor? Soul Heaven. Yeah.
Soul Heaven.
That was it.
We would play that when we get close to that stadium, Bishop, and we would hit that. Hey, give us our theme music, and that would come on, Coach. That would come on.
Rock, you gotta play like 30 seconds of that. So before we get mine,
I'm trying to figure out what. I'm trying to figure out what the song is because I've never heard of that. I've heard last $2 though.
I mean, you
it was Soul Heaven. Yeah, Soul Heaven.
Soul Heaven.
Yeah.
Is that it?
That's it.
You mean y'all roll in the stadium on that?
With that right there.
Hey, you know what that sound like? One of them old Alabama, what's them songs y'all, baby? What's them songs? Quartet song. That's what that's.
Go. Let me tell y'all
That
something.
sounds like one of them old quartet songs.
I know. I used to joke with my brother all the time. Of course, he was the boss and the, he oversees the defense. I say, man, what y'all down there meeting for, man? We got Darnell Kennedy, man. We got 50 tonight. Just stop him one time.
That's it. One time we got it. We good.
Yeah, I used to holler down the holler, man, we got 36, man. Just hold them to 34. We gonna win it.
It was magic now. It was magic. I ain't had another one like him.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Coach, man. I remember Grambling was dropping 9. I think we still gave him 400 though.
The triple reverse, the trifecta.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, we put that in. Yeah,
we kind of invented all kind of offenses and all this new offense that they got going on. That's just a fake. It's a fake. Mostly everybody right now is, we was the hobo offense, high octane, and now everybody trying to come in with run and shoot, this. All of it just came off of that.
All of it is just what we ran. Exactly what we ran.
Yeah. Yep.
The funny thing is, he put that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Darnell.
No, I was talking about he put that when we did bring that triple reverse, man. We was in practice saying, man, this ain't gonna work. And the dude walked in the end zone. He walked in. I was like, oh, it did work.
Man, look, he just said, look here, we up by 3 touchdowns. If they come out and throw this ball, go ahead on to score 2 more. Hey, he wanted to roll the white flag like, all right, man, we done. Y'all won.
Yeah, we would always ask the team, if the score get up and everything, all you do is just, tell us you don't give in, wave the white flag. If you don't do that, I just tell JC, hey, man, drop a couple more bombs on him.
Yeah, I mean, man, it wasn't enough for us to put 50 up, Coach, but it was a good day. Man, Darnell, LC, I know you got to get ready for this week. I want to make sure, man, that our man over here, he let him know. And shit, man, we gonna move on with the show. Anything, Darnell, you want to say to your fans that's listening? Come out to the Alabama State game.
Yo, absolutely. Be safe when y'all go out there to Jackson State. Drive safe and make sure you get there and scream as loud as you can. I appreciate y'all coming on the show though, and just understand I did everything because I didn't want to. I always say I didn't want to let my coaches down, and I didn't want to let the fans down. So
well, you sure did a good job of that.
I was impressed. Always.
Man. Well, hey, look, I'm telling my fans, man, we need to get this man to the right a job, LC Cole. Yeah, he's my brother. So I'm gonna say it right now on the show. One of them jobs that open next year need to be LC Cole's name on it.
So I can bring Darnell, bring him on.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Anything, Rocky?
No, man. I just want to thank those guys for LC. Thank you so much for coming on, man. Hey, even though I work with Johnny, you my favorite Cole brother.
All right.
All right, man. Appreciate it, guys.
All right.
Take care.
Oh, man, Coach, that's always a treat, man. Like I say, Coach, you done lived several lives, my man. You've done some good work, made a tremendous impression on young men. Your family got a lot to be proud of, man. Certainly do.
Yeah, I know. Hey, Emmett, you right. You right. He got to stop. LC got to stop Albany State this weekend. That's gonna be a big task when you working with a whole freshman secondary.
Wow.
Yeah. He got his whole secondary is freshman, man.
Man, that's tough. That's tough, Coach. Hey, Coach, we had some football last week, Coach.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Coach, you told me this was gonna be. You said Delaware State ain't got a chance, Coach. Because they had a chance.
Well, I knew this, that Mammoth was averaging over 40-some points a game, and they hit that number, And were you telling me that Delaware State was in the game when I'm looking at these numbers now. 14 is 28. 14 more is what? I don't think that thing was close. Was it, Coach?
At one point, it was within 10, Coach, for sure. Because I saw it. I saw it. It was within 10. The game finished within 11, Coach. You got to give Coach Jackson his props.
No question. No question.
He came in, Coach, and he put up more of a fight than I think a lot of people thought he would. What do you think, Campbell?
Listen, I think sometimes there's a saying, a moral victory. I think what Deshaun Jackson is showing that he's got these guys ready to play. They are playing big-time football. They're scoring points. Coach always knows, hey, man, that's one of the hardest things to do when you're a new coach coming in. So the fact that he scored points, because you can fix that defense. That offense is hard. So he's already looks like he's got a mentality. He's got, people over there that he trusts. And again, what I like about, because again, I was able to catch a little bit of this game and things like this. But one thing I like is that they are constantly staying within themselves. That's what I like. They're not getting out of character.
Yeah, ain't no doubt. I'm gonna take my hat off to Coach. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with his quick impact. He's putting up numbers. That means folks are coming to watch him play. I'm impressed. Hey, look. Hey, I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon. I think if he stays there, he's gonna get it going in the right direction. More power to him. Move over Dion. Welcome Deshaun Jackson.
Now, Coach. Let me ask you this, Coach. I didn't realize that Georgetown was Division I football, but someone told me, Coach, they don't offer any scholarships, Coach.
No, they one of those academic schools, or like the University of Dayton. There is some FCS schools that don't have athletic scholarships. They have academic scholarships and poor man scholarships and this man scholarships, but they don't have athletic scholarships. And when you're at one of those schools, you can sign as many as you want.
Is this a game that Morgan State should have won?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let me ask you this. Is this a game that puts an indictment on Coach Wilson and his coaching staff?
He's got to do better. You know what I mean? 0-3 in the conference away games, 2-4. The honeymoon is over. Your recruits are in now. We got to get a better outcome. Coach Wilson is a good coach. Nothing on that. He's got to do what he got to do at Morgan State to make it work. You know what I mean? He came in as a defensive specialist. As you see, they playing games close, but you got to get over the hump. It kind of remind me of the guy that left Southern and went to Norfolk. You're right there, but you're not all the way over.
As a historian, Mr. Campbell, how does this reflect on the MEAC?
Well, let me say this. I had my whole soliloquy about how horrible this was until I actually saw SportsCenter last night. And you know what? This was one of Scott Van Pelt's bad beats. But here's the thing. Do you know that Morgan State was only favored by 1.5? They were only favored by 1.5. So to be honest with you, Vegas knew something that a lot of people didn't know. Because to our point, when we look at this and we say Morgan State and Georgetown, Vegas also knew that Morgan State's not a good team. So I'm going to be honest with you. Vegas say, hey, it was only 1.5. And they came down to it. So, Morgan State's not a good team. So they should not have lost it. But I think that also says that nobody believed that they were going to blow them out anyway because Vegas had them at 1.5.
So would this also say that the Morgan State program is behind schedule?
Oh, 100%. I think this is one of those things. And, again, this is one of those, hey, U-Haul watchers, you know what I mean? I got 1-800 U-Haul on speed dial that I think that, again, when they get in the MEAC play, they're going to have to win a lot of games in the MEAC. And again, think about this. It ain't that many games in the MEAC to win.
Yeah, and that coach was Coach Odom. Thank you, Emmett. That was Coach Odom, who did a great job at Southern, man, but just couldn't consistently do it. And then went to Norfolk and kind of played, 400 ball, man. You got to play, once that third and fourth year come, you got to be 600 ball. You know what I mean? You got to be 600, 700, 800 ball or competing for a title.
All right, Coach. South Carolina State did what they were supposed to do. And then this was an interesting game because in the first half, or the first quarter, and part of the second quarter, I thought Norfolk had this game under control. And then they didn't. I just can't make sense of the Norfolk Spartans. They put up offense. Each and every week, and they give up points at an unbelievable clip, and at the wrong times.
Here's what I say, Coach. They got football players over there. Me and you seen that, Coach.
Yes, yeah.
We seen that. They got football players over there. Ain't no question. That area where they play at, man, got athletes all over the place. Like I told you, I think a lot of it has to do with from the top, everything from the top. When you look at them on film, man, they look like the Bad News Bears, not playing like the Bad News Bears, but look like one sock high, one sock low, black sock, white sock, helmet, the thing around their neck, jerseys up. They look ragtag. And ragtag make you lose 34-30 and 41 when you actually have better athletes than the other team. Believe me, programs beat talent every time.
Now,
Programs beat talent every time.
Coach, this is something they've struggled with all season. And I don't understand it, Coach. How can you put up yards, the kind of yards they put up week in, week out, yet still struggle on third down? And let's look at penalties, because that's another thing they struggle with as well. No, this can't be penalties right here, guys.
17 penalties. I called it, didn't I, Coach? Discipline, man. 17 penalties. Shit, you get 17 penalties in at least 3 to 4 games. Coach Campbell, we can't win like that now.
Well, let me say
that ain't coming from the players.
But let me tell you what's funny. And Rocky can remember this, and a lot of people watch the chat. So remember, Deshaun Jackson and Michael Vick got hired around the exact same time. And one of the things, Scott and I talked about this, Zoe and I talked about this, Rocky, I think me and you, before Coach Cole got on one night, and Coach didn't add it on to it. We start breaking down who Deshaun Jackson was bringing in versus who Michael Vick was bringing in. And we start seeing the names and the experience and the winning that Deshaun Jackson. And then when we looked at the offensive coordinator who Mike Vick had picked, the defensive coordinator, and we kept saying who, what, and why. And the who, what, and why is showing up. Who is it? What are they doing? And why are they even coaching? All of that is happening. Compared to Deshaun Jackson, when you can look at that and you can see the plan. This comes down to coaching. This is point blank period coaching. And unfortunately, whoever helped Michael Vick, because it had to be helped, to say these are coaches, he just did not pick the right guys. And it's showing because coaching, you notice the discipline, the execution, and things like that. There were people in that position that are not able to make those plays because the talent, like I said, everybody agrees is there.
So I'll say the theme was in the two coaching staffs, Coach Vick looked like he took guys who had experience in coaching, but not at a very high level. Coached at the high school level, coached at junior college level, but they had connections to Florida. Whereas Deshaun Jackson took guys who had NFL coaching experience, NFL players, guys at least who knew what it looked like to play and coach at a high level. And it was thought that and I think it kind of plays itself out. Norfolk does have the talent advantage if you just break it down player for player. But I think Delaware State definitely overperformed for its talent, but they also have overperformed as far as coaching acumen as well, in my opinion. Like, Delaware State is talented, but you can see that they do they do struggle up front on defense and things like that. Norfolk State, they look the part. They just don't play the part.
Listen, Rock. Listen, L. Dot, and I'm gonna say this. You know, everybody talks about some things don't matter, but Coach, I'm gonna say this: somebody who has hired literally in my career close to 300 people. When you walk in the door for a job interview, you set the tone and you let me know. And L. Dot, I don't care what anybody say. I text Scotty this. I said, Deshaun Jackson came in there to be a football coach. Michael Vick came in there to get a haircut. Two different things. And I don't care what anybody said. It's the mentality of being serious from when you walk in and understand the way you're presented. Because why does that matter? Because it shows you're serious. It shows the alumni that you're serious. And guess what? The people that you're trying to do business deals with, they're more apt to do it when somebody is coming prepared. And I'm sorry, it's just those little things, to me, always matter. Those little things always matter. I'm with L. Dot on that. I'm sorry. I agree.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I wish, hey, like I said, as we move to the next week in the MEAC, I hope that Coach Vick is able to do better as we embark on this game. Now, this game right here, I think South Carolina has the edge, but it seems that North Carolina and TA has some fight in them, Coach. Even though they took a big L against NCCU last week, they put up a pretty good fight, wouldn't you think, Campbell? When they playing William and Mary,
listen,
and staying with their four.
And listen, and I'm sorry, and I'm gonna just jump on because all the A&T people, we're looking better. Bad teams lose close games, so I understand that. I hear it. But I'm telling you this, I've watched that team a couple of times on Flow Sports. They could score, but like, hey, Coach Gibbs knows that team is not going to be his team next year. I can tell you that right now. He's already said it. And I believe, once again, I'm tired. I think Chance Berry and them going to put 50 on them boys before their homecoming.
Let's see what I want to look at William and Mary, because I was really surprised that they just didn't thump them out of here. Let me see who William and Mary has played.
You know, William and Mary is over there in the Big South, the OVC. They play Tennessee State and all them guys.
And it looks like they've had, they ain't beat nobody. All right.
Well, Emmett talking about Emmett, I tell you what, that limb is gonna be so weak. Don't bump your head when you fall out, because that's not happening. No shame.
Emmett, I gotta tell you something. Are you crazy?
That ain't happening.
Hey,
they put 40 on them boys. I'm telling you, 40, 50.
I got South Carolina State. Who you got, Coach?
Man, South Carolina State, man, big.
All right, on this one right here, we got Southern Connecticut State against Delaware State. I got Delaware State on this one.
Hey, man, listen, I'm going to ride with the Fighting Jacksons, man. I like what I see. I think they're going to keep scoring. And, man, listen, they getting ready. I mean, hey, listen, I'm telling you right now, if Deshaun Jackson finishes third in the MEAC, it's going to be some problems. It is going to be some problems. So, yeah, they're getting ready to get – hey, man, I think in the next week they start conference play. They get going in conference play. Let's go.
All right, yeah, this is the last week
I'm going with the Whites.
Okay. All right. So let's look at I can't even click them, Coach. That means they may be Division II since I can't click them. Okay. Or NAIA. So who we got here? Howard and Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart has gotten 2 MEAC victories this year, right?
Yeah.
Will they win the MEAC?
Ooh, Howard.
No, Sacred Heart.
Sacred Heart. He's being funny. They beat Delaware State in the last one, and they beat Norfolk.
I'm gonna go with Howard in a close one.
Okay. I'm gonna take Howard too. What about you, Campbell?
Yeah, I think Howard's gonna pull this out. Again, Delaware State should have beat them, and Norfolk should have beat them too. Honestly, you know what I mean. But again, lacks of execution. And then we know Delaware State basically they got cheated.
Yeah. This is Virginia Lynchburg. We that's home. It's got to be homecoming, right?
Yeah. They matter of fact, they coming to Houston next week for our homecoming.
No, y'all got Lincoln, I thought.
No, we got Lynchburg, man.
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
We got Lynchburg, man.
Oh, okay.
Shit, hey, I ain't never seen it. Look, whoever the head coach there, shit, every time he come home, his wife gonna say, "Dang, why you always come home after the game smelling like barbecue?" Baby, we homecoming for everybody. We got them homecoming. Hey, one thing about them, they play in front of big crowds.
Oh man, can Norfolk get a victory before they start MEAC play, Coach, against Wofford?
I'm going with the Whites, man.
What about you, Campbell?
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't South Carolina State barely beat Wofford? Was that the game? They barely beat them, right?
Yeah.
That's what I
Let's
thought.
look at Wofford. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Listen, down in South Carolina, I'm gonna tell you this. This is I'm picking more with my heart than my heart instead of my mind. I think Michael Vick just got to get a win because I'm saying if he doesn't get this win, I don't know if Michael Vick even comes back next year because once they get in the MEAC play, they're going to get swept. Honestly, it could easily happen.
Dino, he own it. Dino says, "Shit, South Carolina State barely beat Wofford."
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They did, and this was a team that I think South Carolina State handled pretty good the year before. So. You know, I'm with Dino. I think Wofford's going to win the game. Let me say this. Let me answer like this. I hope Norfolk State wins for a whole lot of reasons, but I think Wofford.
Yeah. I have to take Wofford on this one, but I hope Norfolk wins. I'll put it like that. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and address this game right here, Coach, while we're on this side, because I think. As a Florida A&M alum, Campbell, you got to line up what this game means for the morale of the alumni.
Wait a minute. You're talking to me?
Yeah.
I'm about to go full Pat McAfee. I'm about to say, to those Rattlers, when the dark clouds gather on the horizon, when the thunder and lightning pierce the skies, when the fate is but a glare in the eye will fall, the Rattlers will strike, and strike again, and still will not win this game, unfortunately.
Oh, damn, Coach.
Yeah, I had to do my Pat McAfee on that. You know, he hyped them white folks up, and then he pulled the chair. Hey, man, listen. Here's the deal. This is one of those, when you say 1-800, this is when 800 might start getting called. Florida A&M has to understand there's a couple of things that have to be accomplished in this game. First and foremost, you got to play like you want to win this game. Second of all, you cannot let Trey Oliver, because Trey Oliver watches this show. And Trey Oliver, let me tell you something. I know what you're thinking, because I'm going to put it out there. OBG is your girl. She called your boy Gibbs. You said hi, Gibbs. We didn't hire Gibbs. And that's your boy. And you know what you're doing? You're going to call your boy when you ride down there. You know, out Central, sometimes they take the bus. So on that long bus ride down to Tallahassee, you're going to be on the phone with your boy. You know what you're going to say to your boy? He's going to put 60 on him just for you because they should have hired him. See, I know what you're going to do, Trey Oliver. So, Coach Cozy, I'm telling you what he's trying to do. So, Coach, I'm going to give you a speech. Don't let no man come in the brag and call his boy, say he's going to put in 60. So, I want those Rattlers to stand up. I want them to fight hard. And I want them to at least have a good showing. So if Central wins, at least they know they were in a snake pit in a dog fight. So absolutely. So that's it, man. Hey, listen, this thing is serious. This thing is serious. And the one thing I give Coach Cozy, he knows what it is, because it's not going to get any easier. This is the gauntlet right here. And it's not going to stop. And people don't sleep on Alcorn. They might not win a game, but Alcorn going to come down there trying to win a game. So I'm just telling you, man. Listen, this is not looking good.
So let me frame this up. You're in expectation of somehow a victory by NCCU is gonna get rubbed in at some point.
Man, listen, Trey Alva's a friend of the show. Trey Alva told me that he's gonna put my Escalade on bricks. That dude's a gangster, man. Come on, man. That dude is a gangster, and you're not gonna tell me because of the whole mess with his folks and what's going that guy is not going. Listen, what he did to A&T. That's his boy. He did it on purpose. Trey Alva lives for stuff like this.
Now, let me ask you this: is there any chance? Now, OBG probably has a game this weekend, so she won't be able to be on the North Carolina Central sideline.
No, she's not coming back to Tallahassee. Now, that she ain't going to do now. Now, what she will do, now, you know what? See, I was about to make a joke that's going to get me suspended, but I ain't going to do it. I ain't going to do it. Because I saw what happened to Joe Buck. But what she will do, she'll do her little shade posts and saying, I wonder who won my team. And she'll put my teams won. She'll do one of them little shade posts. I'm telling you, it's just what she does. You know, she'll go in the chat on somebody's YouTube channel that don't like FAMU, and she'll be like, oh, what's going on? Who won today? She'll do that. I see what she's doing on social media. I know what she's doing. So, yeah, she's going to throw the shade out there. There's no question.
All right.
Well, I want to give a shout out to Coach Barnett. He watching the show. He the offensive coordinator at Alabama State. So I want to let him know, man, we cheering for him. Make sure he have a great game.
Absolutely.
Hey, listen, hey, put this on screen. L. Said she going to post them rings. Put that up. Hey, yeah, she gonna post the rings that we won for her. So let's be clear. That's what you're right. She definitely gonna do that. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now Campbell, I'm gonna have to admit, Campbell, ever since she left the highest of Seven Hills, FAMU football ain't been the same.
Well, listen, let me say it. Well, okay. She is not the plus or the minus on that, okay? She's not. And I'm not going to disrespect her to say that she was, because she wasn't the plus or minus when Willie was the coach, was she?
Hey, Edwin Morton said that. He said he liked her dimples.
Oh, man, listen. See, that's the thing about these jokers here. She got a little fan club. She got a little fan club. And I see how she been moving. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna make no jokes. I ain't doing no Joe Bullet joke, but I see what she been doing. So, you know, she got a little fan club. You know, she got a little fan club out there for the other folks. But hey, man, listen, she's over there, and I'm glad she's working. She's an AD. Congratulations to her. No disrespect to her. So I wish her well. I hope her team that she is the AD of wins.
Hey man, you know these cats. Hey, look, I'm looking at these cats, man. Man, y'all going for the uppers and the bottoms, man. Y'all little heads running y'all big heads, man.
Hey,
they all laughing.
Look, they all thirsty, coach. They
all I'm cheering for, coach.
They all thirsty. They all thirsty. They all, and let me tell you something. You know, listen, that pretty smile. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? She's a smart woman, and they all thirsty and all that. So I know what it is.
What else? Hey, whatever.
It's a whole roll of them, coach.
Yeah, okay. Coach, look, coach. Let me tell you now. Listen, now it's the whole crew there. Let her do her job. Didn't know what kind of resume she had. Let her do her job. All because they thought that woman was cute. Man, stop it. Y'all didn't know what that woman was doing in family.
Hey, is this a thing right here, Campbell?
Oh, bro, listen. You know we black and we love beautiful. Big and beautiful. Come on, man. Listen.
They killing me, coach. Look. When a team lose, they be first ones on here talking about, man, fire that cat.
But listen. And then listen. And then see, here go Edwin Moore. See, Edwin, listen. There's levels to this now. Before you get in the front seat of the Escalade, now I can show you the pictures of who riding that front seat now. I'm just letting you know it's a little bit different. You know, OBG is here. My level is here now. I'm just trying to tell you, we're with the Florida A&M from Jackson, Mississippi. Come on now. That's how we move.
I got you.
Yeah, we gonna keep this.
They don't turn the score into XXX. Ain't another big girl.
Oh man, listen. Now, Cole, let me tell you what's so funny about this game right here. And people, JSU like to say JSU versus Coach. Listen, people like to say they hate Gremlins, they hate Southern. But FAMU, one thing about it, there are so many people that's gonna be watching this game on their phone in Jackson, Alabama State, because they are hoping that this game is 70-0. I'm telling you, Coach, they got channels that's gonna have score by score going on. They already know it. They already know.
Could this in some way be the OBG Revenge Bowl?
Rock, it's so bad. They're trying to blame us for the Valley game. We ain't had nothing to do with it. That's what they just want to see us go be down bad.
Man, I'm gonna put a call into my man Trey and see what he say.
Call and tell him to tell the truth. Tell him to tell the truth. Say if I'm wrong. I want you to show what I said. And tell if I'm wrong.
Say he gonna have a little extra for FAMU. Hey man, come on. Hey, I like I said, I wouldn't play with Trey Olive if I was y'all, man. Y'all better be nice to that man. And make sure. But if I was Trey, hey, I would stay in Thomasville or Valdosta. I wouldn't stay in Tallahassee the night before the game.
Man, listen, man, like I say, them boys know what it is. So come on, Rattlers. Like I say, you can flip the whole narrative with one game.
All right. So this is interesting here. This is last week, last week, Coach. We had an interesting week last week. You know, we had some things get sorted out last week. We didn't have a lot of games, but some things got sorted out. Man. We had Prairie View travel to Lormont, right?
Yeah.
And I thought this would be a convincing win by Prairie View. But the people out in Vegas knew better than I did.
No.
And they had it as a 2-point game. With that being said, Coach, what'd you think about this game and how it kind of played out?
I had a good long talk with Coach Jackson over some things that happened. And he says the one thing that he's running into is the officiate. You know, a lot of calls was questioned on what was going on, and he thought they had jumped out. And he said they opened up the game and scored and was moving the ball down the field. But it was a couple calls that they made that really stubbed them in the first half. But he said the Alcorn look. He said, "Shh." He said, "Coach, they looked good, man." He felt that they looked good on the huff, And he said they barely got out of there. I mean, third down conversions, 2 for 12, 5 for 13. Woo, man. They were low, man. They wasn't getting it done, Coach, at all. But once again, we talked about the quarterback thing. They played 2 quarterbacks. They got to do better. Like I told y'all on the text, Texas Southern, hopefully with this 57-0 or 51-0 victory, is going to help them win the East. I've called the East what I called it 2 weeks ago.
The West?
I mean the West, right. The West, I called it 2 weeks ago. Prairie View going to win the West, especially after this week, because Prairie View got an off week, and then they got Alabama A&M, Alabama State, Southern, and then that's it.
Well, Coach, we just going over the stats. Prairie View dominated in every category other than the score. So it was.
Hey, Rocky, I want to say something about this game, and this is one of the things because, and I'm gonna say this. Listen, guys, the reason why you watch HBCU Coaches Corner, because not a lot of fluff. It's not people making up stuff that don't watch these games, that don't know these games. And I'm going to say this in defense of Coach Thomas because he got murdered about the play calling and stuff like that. But sometimes, and Coach Johnson, you need to listen why he did it. Coach Thomas got on the coach's call because the question was, and I think Wayne called right, which was a great question. Coach, I want to ask you why the play sequence, because I think he ran 2 pass plays instead of running the ball, setting the ball, and kicking it. Coach Thomas said we were on our second string kicker. He could not make it from that distance. He could not. So we had to pass the ball to try to get it closer to make the second string kicker more comfortable to win it. So please, guys, when you guys kill these coaches, at least go on the coach's call and see what they said. So I got a lot of respect for them. Because people will kill they don't know what they're doing, and the offensive coordinator is crazy. But does that make sense to you? If your kicker can't kick for 40 yards, what are you going to do, Coach?
You got to get more yards.
Okay.
And the running game is not going to do it, especially with the time. You got to throw the ball. Now, did it work out? No. But that's what I'm saying. Sometimes these coaches do coach their players. Sometimes these coaches do know their players. So no matter if Alcorn is X0 and 4 or 5 now, at least give the coach respect that they do get paid to coach.
0-5, Coach.
0-5. So that kind of bothered me because, you know, Coach Thomas, I know he's coaching hard, and, you know, I have no problem with people criticizing him. But for that, sometimes the answer is right there in front of your face. So I will say to everybody, before we go and kill these coaches, listen now. I'm going to say this, and Southern folks remember this. Now, when Dooley said that, and he was like, oh, we ran the ball because FAMU wasn't in the right set, and everybody had the video, was like, no, that's not true. Yeah, then you kill the coach on that. But got to respect Coach Thomas for that.
So Coach Cole, I want to get your because this brings up a point as you guys were talking. We just talked about FAMU a minute ago. We're talking about Alcorn's situation now. What do they have in common? Both programs got rid of their championship coach in the same year.
Well, first of all, FAMU did not get rid of Willie.
No, well, what I'm saying, he left the program. He left the program.
Alcorn did not pay Coach Fred. Now that's the difference. They didn't want to pay him the money.
So Coach, combine these teams are 1-9 after 2 years after they let go of the championship coaches. Historically, this is what happens when teams let go or their championship coach moves on?
Yeah, you know, and that's why it's so important to be able to know as an AD where we are as a program. Or do we need to rebuild? Do we need to reload? Do we need to just replace? And if you make the wrong decision, and when you rebuild, that means you're gonna bring a guy in. He don't have a lot of experience. The program is gonna sort of like kind of grow with him. If you bring in an experienced guy, he'll come in and see where he needs to replace people at. If you hire a guy on the staff, he should already know where things are at and what they need to do. Unfortunately, I think what's happening in Florida A&M, they need to go get an offensive coordinator. You know what I mean? They need a guy that can come in and from Simmons Tree, whether it was from Prairie View when he worked there, from a guy, and they have enough of who they are to say we can go steal somebody. Let's get North Carolina Central's coordinator. Let's get to bring them in. So those are things that an athletic director has to think about instead of just, well, let me just go find a guy, you know. And when you just go find a guy, then you end up 0-5 and 1-4 and all that kind of good stuff.
But you got anything you want to add to this, Mr. Campbell?
Listen, Coach said it all. I think one of the ways, and again, there's a way of doing it. Again, Alcorn felt they didn't want to pay Coach McNair the amount of money. Willie left very late in the game, and EA hit it. He said, and he was told he hadn't done anything to deserve right. Yeah, that was OBG that did not want to pay Willie back before the Celebration Bowl in late November, early November. So, you know, just give credit where credit's due, good and bad. You know, one of the things I think with Alcorn, but let's be honest though. Alcorn was trending down anyway. They weren't winning the West. They had kind of was moving. Fred McNair was kind of 7-4, 6-5. It wasn't like they were trending up. Southern was winning. Prairie View was winning. So I think the transition could have, you know, maybe Fred would not have gotten this bad because I think Fred McNair wouldn't have gotten this, but I think Alcorn was not trending up. So I think that was another thing too. They were like, we're not going to pay you all this money, and we're finished second and third in the West.
Yeah.
Well, I think in Fred McNair's defense, didn't he work a period of time without an AD?
I don't think so.
Well, they had it. Well, I would say this: Alcorn had issues with the president. They did have issues with the AD. Yeah, so it was a lot. It was it was rough down there.
Okay, and the reason why I bring that up is Coach Cole, from the very first time we talked, Coach, you've always said these programs got to hold on to their championship coaches because that's what holds the program together. And programs beat players, beat talent all the time, Coach. And so I just wanted to get your take on that. Because a lot of times when the coach goes away, the program goes away as well. And we see that on all levels of football, from the pros all the way down to high school. So, but here's another good game we had last week. Now, I thought this game would be a little more competitive than it was. If you were to tell me when we interviewed Coach Shea that he would give up almost 60 points to Jackson State and then almost over 40 points to Bethune-Cookman in consecutive weeks, I wouldn't have believed it. That guy has a stern defensive mentality as a coach. But I don't know what's happening over in Huntsville, but they can't stop a nosebleed right now.
Well, they got a leak in their secondary. They got some young secondary people. They're getting beat deep a whole lot. It's the Achilles heel of coming in as a first-year coach, trying to instill your philosophy, because we all know that Coach Shea is a defensive guy. You know what I mean? They're a run guy and they're a defensive guy. And so what's happening is not only are they getting hurt in their secondary, on the offensive side of the ball, you can't have that run first down, second down. You got to be more explosive. I just sent a text over to my some of my former players over at Tennessee State. I said, you guys are not going to win averaging 13 to 16 points a game over there with the whites. You just, in the FCS, you got to score points. You got to score points. The nation average is 24. You got to be somewhere there. You got to be good on third down. You know what I mean? If you're not good on third down, you're going to lose football games. You got to be able to establish some balance in your offense. If you're not a good passing team, then run the ball. Well, with run the ball, what are the passes when you're a good run team? You got your draws, you got your play action, you got your bootleg stuff. If you're not doing that stuff, then you're not being successful. If you're great at throwing the football, then you got to get your screen game going. Why? Because those defensive ends going to pin their ears back and try to get to the quarterback. So your screen game, your tunnel screens on the outside, your inside mid screens, and then also you got to be able to, that every now and then when you're a great run team, you got to be able to line up and double tight and get them 1 or 2 yards. So if you ain't doing those things, you ain't winning football games. And I think that's one of the biggest things with Alabama A&M is I know Coach Shea's philosophy, but when you got a defense that's giving up points, you got to be able to open that offense up and get you a couple yourself.
Yeah, this game right here was interesting. Meaning that they didn't have any answer for Jackson State. And it seemed like whoever they went to, whoever they threw to, whatever they ran, worked, Coach. It almost looked like a scrimmage, Coach.
30 first downs.
Yeah.
It looked more like a Division I team is playing some Division II team.
Yeah.
So they got a lot of work to do over there.
Now I did see in this game where Jackson State, once their backups got in, they were able to move the ball or whatever, but still, Sam Shea team not being able to do nothing on the ground was surprising.
Yards of total offense, Coach. Jeez.
Yeah. Campbell, as a Jacksonian, you know the temperature, probably know the temperature of what the fan base feels like going into this next week against Alabama State after playing Alabama A&M. What does this game do for the confidence and the morale of the fan base?
Rocky, I'm gonna tell you what was funny. But wait a minute, hold on one second. Hold on one second.
And let me give Jacoby Morgan his props. Hey,
Rocky, wait a minute. Hold on, Rocky. Hold on. Wait a minute. Rocky, hold on. That's my phone. Hold on. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me answer this. Hello? You want me to tell Rocky what? And tell him to watch on Saturday too? I got you. Rocky, that was Jacoby Morgan just called. He said, watch on Saturday. That's what he just told me to tell you. He said the average quarterback said he's watching the show, and he told me to tell you, thank you for letting him know to keep motivated every week, and he put up the 301. So just want to let you know that was Jacoby Morgan. I know folks, Rocky. I know folks.
Yeah, well, hey, again, in this game, he was exceptional. He was 21 for 30 for 314 and 4 touchdowns. Again, man, I can't say enough about how well he played, how efficient he was. He also was 12 for 120 on the ground. Sensational game, and it was against a Division I opponent. So I can't say it wasn't. I don't know if it was a Division I defense, but it wasn't a Division I team. So again, shout out to Jacoby Morgan. If I can criticize him when he struggles or call him average when he's average, I certainly can praise the young man when he plays well, and he definitely played well this past weekend. Yeah, my wife was like, who is this number 15? Because she's an Alabama A&M alumni. Who is this number 15? And I'm like, she like, is he going to the pros? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm glad you don't scout. So anyway, yeah, she was really, I don't know if she was rubbing it in or she didn't know. I don't know what she was doing, but she literally called me and asked me, who is this guy? And is he good enough to go to the pros? And I'm like, why are you calling me about Jackson State's quarterback? Because she's talking about he ain't missing nothing. Anyway, but with that being said, Jacoby, shout out to you, brother. What was your thought? What were you guys' thoughts other than?
Well, let me say, I want to talk about the Sam Shade thing. And this is, you know what? This is how good a coach Sam Shade is. We got expectations for him already in year one. He doesn't have his guys. He's rebuilding the program. He's sitting at 3-3. He got, and he'll probably tell you, we won't say it, he has respect, but he probably felt that they let that game against Bethune-Cookman get away. So they could have been 4-2. So I think they're right on schedule where they want to be at. I think that coach knows what he's going to do. I think they're going to recruit heavy, and I think he's going to get their guys in. And I think when you look at Alabama A&M and what they're going to be doing for us with A.D. Bryant and stuff like that, they're going to move and shake. But like I say, Jackson State, man, I think they got their gears going. And I'm going to be honest with you with Coach T.C. Taylor. I think T.C. Taylor was playing possum with you guys the first part of the season. As they say, don't show everybody what they got. But have you seen the last couple of games, all of a sudden you see a Savage play. Fortillion's out. But you see, remember, you see the other guys, Paul and these wide receivers, you see these running backs, you see the defense. You're starting to see plays that they didn't run in the first part of the season. So now I think they've got those guys locked and loaded. Of course, we'll talk about the Alabama State game. But I think, look, TC, my guy, who caught 205 yards for 14 receptions in that Robert Kent and Darnell Kennedy game, I think he's ready to go.
Hey, let me ask you this, Campbell and Coach. The talent disparity that I saw on Saturday reminds me somewhat of the Dion era of Jackson State, right? Between Alabama A&M and Jackson State. Did you guys also see that too, or was that just my eyes playing tricks on me when I was watching the game?
Well, there's no doubt Jackson State's the most talented team. It's not. Usually, even last year with FAMU team, it was talent, but it was coaching. You could see the talent, and it wasn't because, like I said again, FAMU played them to a dead heat until the 5 minutes left in the game. But this year, you can just see. And let me tell you something about what Coach Taylor did, and he talked about this. If you look at Jackson State's recruiting, he has the same philosophy. He got guys, and I'm gonna keep saying this. Guys that want to be Tigers. There's a difference between a guy that wants to play football. He got guys that want to be at Jackson State. They're going to be at Jackson State. And the first thing he did, if you go look at his recruiting, he got that offensive line. He got all those young guys that were able to play, got their head knocked that first year. Now, all those guys are sophomores and juniors, and they've been there. You got a lot of guys from Texas, a lot of guys from Georgia. And that whole offensive line is eating. He's got guys that want to be at Jackson State. And he did not go get 40, 50 guys in the portal. He got certain guys, like a DN from Florida, this guy, Nate Remmer from Valley, guys that fit what they want to do. And that's the way you got to coach. And that's why they're so much better than everybody else.
What did you see, Coach Cole?
You know, Alabama State, man, is.
You mean Alabama A&M?
Oh, yo, man, we still talking about A&M. It was a blowout.
All right, Coach.
It was a
I
blowout.
will move on.
Yeah, by the best team in the league.
All right. Alabama State and Bethune-Cookman. Now, I'm going to tell you about this game. This game was never in question. It was never a threat. But it really got on my nerves for Coach Woody to play his starters the whole game when they were clearly blew out and out of the game. Like, he was like, at what point, Coach, when you down 52-21, at some point shouldn't you just get the game over?
Why?
Well, you ready for me to put you in his frame of mind?
Yeah.
Please, because I know what you're about to say, because I'm about to agree 100% with you.
He know he's done, Coach. He got to make – the only thing he got left is to put up enough points to make some people excited to say, man, we coming. We coming. Now you're not coming. You're leaving your guys in there. You keep throwing bombs, to score, to make it feel good. Those are feel-good points. You know what I mean? To make it look like we're getting where we're supposed to be at. But by then, if you know Division I AA football, it's a big drop-off from your firsts to your seconds. So when those teams blow him out and they put their seconds in, then here he come. Man, we almost – guess what the fans were saying when they left there? Boy, we almost beat them. Just a little more time. That's what that is.
What you got to say, Mr. Campbell?
I mean, I'm going to agree with Coach, but I think also, too, to your point, I think he knows he wants to keep his players playing because he's figuring there's a couple of games that maybe he can pick off and finish 500 in the back where he wants to just keep playing those guys. And so I'm with Coach on that. Hey, I think this game was never in doubt. Alabama State knew it, but which we'll break down the Jack State, Alabama State game. But again, the Alabama State defense still is not the same. It's not the same.
He feel himself at the end of the rope, and he don't tie the knot, baby.
He getting drugged in, Coach. Getting drugged.
He holding on, Coach. Unfortunately, you know what I mean?
Hey, this game right here looked like a game of the big guys against the little guys, Coach. Texas Southern smashed Arkansas Pine Bluff after they got a big victory against Alcorn.
Here's what I don't understand when I'm facing Texas Southern, my alma mater. Do you think I'm going to kick to them, Campbell? I ain't going to never kick to them. They got two explosive kids out there, man, that can get it done on the special team. I'm not kicking the ball to them. When I was watching Valley, they kept kicking it. I'm going to kick it out of bounds. I'd rather give them 15 yards on it than a guy can bust it. They got two guys, man, that can do it. Do you hear what I'm saying? That they can do it. And they average a whole bunch of yards on kick return and punt return. So I'm not kicking to them. Texas Southern's offense have proven that they can't drive 80 yards consistently. They can't do it. Texas Southern right now is a big play offense.
Coach, they ran the ball for 350 yards, Coach.
Yep. It seems like everybody got a
Hey.
They could have put me back there with my bad knee. I'd have got 10 on the first round.
Hey, Coach. But, hey, it seems like from here on out, Coach, it's SWAC football all the way. And this has been the biggest weekend. This past week was the biggest weekend before. This is the biggest weekend now. This weekend right here.
Well, let's go determine who's going to be in the championship. We already know it's Prairie View. And whoever wins this game is going to be in the championship.
Whoa, Coach, hold on now. Wait a minute. We already know what?
Yeah, this This week is gonna be who the two teams gonna play in the championship game.
I'm gonna tell you this, and people know this, but Coach, I'm gonna tell you this: the people that they still have to play.
When you
and
say
Southern has to play, Southern is sitting right there in their hip. So I'm just telling you, Southern has done it before. So I don't know. Okay, I'm just saying before we throw that out there.
I'm throwing it out there. I'm throwing it out there.
No,
Prairie View A&M will represent. I said that 2 weeks ago. They will.
Yeah, you
represent
did. You did.
They will, and Texas Southern's gonna help them because they're gonna upset some people. Watch this week. Texas Southern play, don't they?
No, Texas Southern and Grambling.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, watch this week.
So let's look at this game right here, Coach. Texas Southern and Grambling. Mickey Joseph is your protege. He's putting together a pretty respectable season so far, even though he lost to Prairie View in the State Fair Classic. Can Grambling get a victory against Texas Southern?
I think they can. I think they match up with Texas Southern very well. If you slow Texas Southern's run game down, because that's what they want to do, don't give them no big plays on special teams, you got a shot at winning.
Coach, I'm gonna let you know, Coach. I'm taking Texas Southern in this game. Who you got, Campbell?
I'm gonna say it's Grambling's homecoming. I saw all my beautiful young ladies that used to wear eye weave looking all pretty, all grown now. The whole gonna be rocking, man. Listen, I think the spirit of Grambling is gonna stand up. I think this is one of those games that Grambling is going to stand up. Because Texas, I'm sorry, Coach, I'm with you. They're so schizophrenic to me. They can score 50 like they did and turn around and score 14 this week. Yeah. That's my own thing. The level of inconsistency that I do not understand from Texas. So when you see the makings of a team that really can make a run, but the level of inconsistency. So, you know what? So I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to go with my folks down. I'm going to go with Graham Fam, and I'm going to go with my girls, the Orkeeses down there.
Hey, Coach, are you going to pick this one? I know both of these, Mickey's really close to you. This is your alma mater. Are you going to abstain from picking this one, or are you going to go ahead and give us a pick?
I'm going to go Texas Southern in a close one. I'm going to go with the Bishop.
Hey, Coach, let me ask you a question before we jump. What do you think the keys are the game for this game? Because this, to your point, is a very important game in the West. What are the keys? What does Texas – I tell you what, real quick. What does Texas Southern have to do to win this game, and what does Grambling have to do to win this game?
Texas Southern has to be good on third down. They got to mix it up more of just handing the ball off. They need to pick that big wide, that quarterback on the sprint out. Let him run some. Let him, because they want to get first downs. That's what they should use. And that kid is exceptionally when he breaks out there. Continue to be great on special teams. Make sure they got short fields. Grambling, they got to stop the run. Make Texas Southern throw the football. And do not kick to those guys back in the backfield. If you punt that damn out of bounds. If you kick off, squib kick it down the goddamn field. But do not give Texas Southern opportunities to get short fields or one of those exceptional returners to break one.
Hey, Coach, I believe Grambling has 7 games left, and Mickey needs 5 wins. At what point does the pressure of that start weighing on the?
You trying to give him 8 instead of 7, huh?
Well, doesn't he need to win 8 to get the automatic?
Yeah, replacement. Yeah, I think that is in the contract.
To get that third year, he has to have 8 victories, correct?
Correct.
And so what I'm saying, at what point does that start weighing on putting extra pressure on the coaching staff?
Well, of course, you got to beat the people you're supposed to beat. He's supposed to beat Texas Southern, and we'll see. It was pressure. It would have been pressure for me out the gate. You know what I'm saying? When I was 0-0.
Yeah. We already talked about this game right here. Now, this is interesting right here. This game right here for some of you guys. This Southern Bethune-Cookman game. Because I see a game that Southern can actually come in and dominate this game. But I also see a situation where Bethune-Cookman is able to exploit Southern as well. What do you guys see?
This is one of those things where Southern, again, and this is why I don't understand. When you got a back like Trey Holly, you got to give him 20, 25 carries in this game. Because if you give him 20, 25 carries, and shout out to Bishop Bond and them, we're talking about this, Coach, and you know this, that's when that 19 to 25th carry wears down and he breaks one to close the game out. Southern has got to give the guy the ball. Bethune-Cookman's going to come out. I think the defense is not strong. Again, Southern's strength is Bethune-Cookman's weakness and vice versa. So I think one of those things that I think Southern, if they're going to try to make a march, because I think Southern still believe they can win the West. That's their opinion. I believe that they believe that. They have to win this game. It starts with this game right here. So I tell you what, I'm going to take Southern. I guess my better judgment, I think that Southern is going to come in there and win this game.
You know, go ahead, Coach, because I got something I want to add as well.
Hey, one of the things, man, you know, for this game is you're right, Coach Bishop. You're right. See, the thing of it is when you coordinate an offense, you got to know who's my playmakers. All right, who's the guys that's gonna make plays? You know, I used to have a count up in the box of are we getting the ball to our playmaker guys? You know what I mean? Because they the guys that's gonna win the game for you. You don't want to come out of the game and you don't give the ball to somebody that's just an average guy. You know what I mean? They got one of the best backs in the conference, maybe in FCS football. You know what I mean? And they don't give him the ball much. They should be doing everything with him, throwing him screen plays, screen in the middle, off tackle power, sweep. You know, put the ball in his hand. And then what are you establishing? You're establishing what we're good at, what people got to prepare for, and then go to what you think that we're good at. Southern has to do that. They play good enough defense not to be 1-5. A lot of their problems and issues is that they got to drive the ball. They don't have no short fields. The defense got to turn the ball over, get offensive short fields, and on the offensive side of the ball, they got to get the ball to that tailback. Simple. It's simple. And I guarantee you, if they listen to us, and that boy get the ball 15 to 20 times this weekend, they'll win that game. They'll win that game.
And Coach, let me ask you a question, because this has been the arguments that Southern people said and respect to Southern people, and EA brought it up. So what they said when he came over from LSU, just jumped right into Southern, they said he wasn't in game shape. Coach, how long does it take for a football player to get in game shape? They've got to be in their 6th game.
Coach, we in mid-season, Coach. You should be on cruise control now. We don't have the whole month of August, all of September, and now we in October. Shit, run him after practice. If you got there late after practice, just run him on some sprints. You know what I mean? To get him ready. They got to make a commitment to this kid. And until they make a commitment to this kid, they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, so I'm with you on the first month. But, guys, we're in October. He's been practicing every day. You know what I mean?
And playing.
You know, so that's what I'm saying. I can't. I mean, so that's what I'm saying, guys. This is the HBCU Coach Call. We don't do them lazy narratives over here. You know what I'm saying? Now, them other folks, oh, he's out of shape. He's out of shape. We don't do that. Like, come on, man. This is, like I said, it's the 6th game of the year. That kid is ready to go. Yeah, I tell you what, if he's not ready to go, then he shouldn't be playing.
Yeah, this kid is a big timer. He knows what he's supposed to do. He knows what he got to do to get himself in shape. Hey, man, you know, I hate to say it, man. That's coaching, man. You got to get this kid ready to play and get this kid to football.
But
I'll say this. I'll say this about Southern, and this is something I would not have said 3 weeks ago, but I'll say it now. If they can navigate these three games right here, right, and get victories, it changes the whole.
Who said this? I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah. If they can navigate these 3 games right here, they're on course to be the West champ.
Who is that?
Southern. They have Bethune, Prairie View, FAMU. If they somehow can navigate that, go unscathed in those 3 games, then the next 4 games, they'll be favored in every game. This may be a push right here with Texas Southern, but they'll be favored in all these other games. And you have to realize
this is why those cross matchups mean so much, because Prairie View's got to play Alabama State, and Alabama. See, this is the thing about in the East, nobody can take. You got to win every game. So Alabama State is going to play. Prairie View's got to play them. Alabama A&M is not going to be no easy knockout because they can score. So I'm just saying, they can easily lose those. If they lose that, that's 3 losses right there.
Prairie View only got 1 tough game left, and that's Alabama State.
I think the Southern game can be challenging as well, Coach. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you.
I would agree with you. I would agree with you.
So that's what I'm saying. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Southern would be invincible in those games, but if they navigate these 3, because again, let's be honest. When the season came about, we thought this game would be a gimme. We thought this game would be a Prairie View victory, but we also thought FAMU would be head and shoulders better than Southern, and that's not the case, Coach. That's not the case.
I agree.
They're gonna get Southern is gonna go into that game regardless of what happens here. They're gonna go into this game thinking they can break the streak.
Oh, listen, bro. Listen, when you have been beaten by teams like that, listen, bro. And I'm gonna say this. Talk about a streak. I was there listening to the relief of the Alabama State coaches and the players. We finally beat these guys. I saw it, and I was amazed how important it meant to them. You don't think Southern's thinking the same thing? We've been killing Southern. There's no doubt. And FAMU's down, man, everybody go try to get their licks on FAMU this year.
All right, Coach, we're going to move on to do we have to talk about this Alcorn game?
Go down. What is Southern's record?
1-4, 0-1 in SWAC.
Okay. They are.
But they've played what? 3 SWAC games, 2 SWAC.
They have played all the best teams in the HBCU. They played Central and lost, Jackson State and lost, and Alabama State and lost. Come on, Coach. Anybody will probably go 0-3 against those games. Hell, FAMU's about to do it.
Yeah.
Well, what Southern supposed to be one of those teams, so they couldn't be
no.
one of those?
Well, Coach, let's look at this, Coach. The teams that they lost to, I think everybody in the conference loses to.
I predicted this record that this was going to happen. I said Southern was going to be a back-end team. Exactly how they called this, they were not beating Jackson State. They were not beating Central. They were not beating Alabama State. We called that, Coach, when we first picked it.
Now, let me say this, Coach. This is a crucial game for Southern right here. This is a critical game. They traveled to Daytona, Coach. And you can say what you want to say, Bethune-Cookman can light it up, Coach.
Look, say what you want. Being 0-1 in the conference and only winning 1 game in the middle of the season, every game is important. Every game. They coming out the hole. They digging up out the hole, man.
Well, what I'm saying is I believe Southern would be a much better team if they can start some momentum. And they got Bethune, they got PV, because I believe Southern is, I'm going to be honest with you, I believe Southern is more talented than Prairie View. When I look at those teams, I believe Southern is more talented.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but Coach, Southern's more talented, but Prairie View is coached way better.
I wasn't going to say that.
Well, I'm going to say it. They ain't coming on the show anyway. So
all right, guys, we're going to move to the Alcorn Lincoln game. Do we have to discuss this? And I'll just say this. Is this game coming at the right time for Coach Thomas?
Let me say something, Rocky. This was interesting because somebody said that Lincoln had canceled their last 2 games. What will be this is Alcorn's homecoming. Correct me for my people in the chat. I think this is Alcorn's homecoming. Is that not correct? What if Lincoln doesn't show up for Alcorn's homecoming? What would that be?
Well, you would hear something about
that. They move it to the next week, wouldn't it?
No, how they gonna move homecoming to the next week?
Well, they would move it to the next home game.
Homecoming? Oh, because they would cancel it and they say we're not going, and then we'll move. Okay, I got you. Okay, I understand now. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Hey, Dino said they not gonna win the conference. I'm gonna say, man, I'm gonna give him Shooty my address and tell him to send me a case of Michelob Modelo.
Ultra. Oh, Modelo, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Now this is let me ask you this, Coach. Is this where Mississippi Valley gets on the board right here?
Against Alabama A&M? Whoo, Coach. That's gonna be one there now. That's gonna be one there because Alabama A&M, man, they ain't stopped nobody.
And this is their homecoming.
And Valley has a nice offense, man. They have a nice offense. They do some good things, man. Because they beat Texas Southern them down the field till the last third quarter. Texas Southern kind of came out a little better, but they beat them up and down the field for 3 quarters. So I don't count Mississippi Valley out now.
I know the Fighting T-Bucks need a victory, but I'm going to take Shade on this one. I'm going to take Coach Shade on this one.
I got you.
Who you got, Coach?
Listen, I think what Terrell Buckley has shown in his first year with the very limited resources in Miss Valley, that those guys can coach. I think there's some things that they got to learn for as game time situations and a couple of things that he talked about that. But I think he's got those guys motivated to play. With that being said, Alabama A&M clearly has talent. There's no doubt about it, and especially on the offensive side of the ball. And that being homecoming, I think Coach Shade, like I say, is going to reset his team after the Jack State game. And again, this is a big thing because Alabama A&M, they're doing a lot of things down there for this homecoming, from my understanding, that they haven't done before. So it's going to be a showcase for Sam Shade and the team. So I think Alabama A&M definitely is going to win it.
What about you, Coach? Who you got?
Whew. Man, that's a tough one, Coach. I lost faith in A&M, man. They kind of shut it down. I don't know. This Brown kid is really, really hurt the quarterback, huh?
No. He back. He threw for 350 last week.
Well, I'm gonna go with Valley. I'm gonna go with A&M.
Okay. All right. Well, this is the big game, Coach. This is the last one. This is the big game. This is probably the biggest game of the season. This game features.
On a count of 3, if you at home with me. 1, 2, 3. Everybody, stop playing with that man.
That features Andrew Body and mighty Jackson State, the boogeyman of the SWAC. Coach, I'll go first on this one, and I'm going with my heart. I'm going with Andrew Body and Bama State.
Campbell?
No, let me go last. I'm from Jack. You go.
It's going to be a tough one, Coach. It's going to be a tough one. Everybody has been, if you looked at Body stats, everybody has been looking to make him sit in the pocket or tackle or make sure that he don't get loose. Looking at Jackson State's defense, they pretty stifled. They like to bring a lot of pressure. That means that a Body can escape. My more thing is can Alabama State's offense stop their defense? I got Jackson State real close on this one.
That's interesting. What about you, Campbell?
Rocky, Alabama State. You know they got the number 1 scoring offense in the SWAC. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that Andrew Body is not only leading in passing, he's the leading rusher in the SWAC? Did you know that, Rocky? Did you know
No,
that?
I didn't know that.
How about that? Did you understand they have one of the leading receivers in the conference, Jones? Do you understand that Eddie Robinson has actually beaten Jack State on their homecoming last time they played? Do you believe that? But it don't matter Because you know why it don't matter? It don't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter. Because when you hear this, Rocky, right here, listen. When you listen, Rocky, what you listen? When you hear this? When you hear this, Rocky? You hear this?
I'm glad I don't hear it.
Hold on. Wait, hold on.
Share your screen. Share your screen.
Hold on. Yeah,
the sonic boom, man. The sonic boom.
Listen, Rocky. Listen. I want you to listen to this. So this is Jackson, Mississippi, man. There's no playing around, Rocky. I want you to understand this right now. This is Jackson, Mississippi. There's none of this foolishness that's going to happen with Alabama State coming in. Listen, Rocky, what you hear this? When you hear this right here, you hear that, Rocky?
Hold on. Let me take this down and add this.
You hear that, Rocky? Let's go get ready.
What is that?
You hear that, Rocky? That's the boom.
That's the Temptations, ain't it?
That's the boom of the South, Rocky. Almost Jackson, Mississippi. We know what this game means. So I'm telling you, 100 people in my family went to Jackson State. Granddaddy graduated in 1930. There's no way in the world I'm going to pick against them JSU Tigers. No way in the world, Rocky. No way in the world. So when that get ready to get fired up, understand that Jackson State is going to win this game 100%.
Yeah, man, this is a game that you don't have to hype up. Now, let me ask you this here. This game was originally scheduled to be on ESPN Plus. They have moved it to ESPNU. In Jackson State, will it affect attendance because the game was moved to ESPNU?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because this is one of those games that Jackson State, see, I'm going to tell you something about Jackson State people. People keep missing one thing. Jackson State people are football fans first. They love the boom, but they football fans first. They know this is a football game. This is what Jackson State and that vet lives for these big-time games. Again, we had Darnell Kennedy, homecoming, big-time game. It was probably 40,000 people in that stadium in that game when him and Kent went crazy. These people that are sophisticated, that knows the history between these two teams, you're talking about Houston Marker, who left Jackson State, went to Alabama State, came back and beat them for a national champion. You're talking about Darnell Kennedy and Coach Cole and them.
Oh, man. Oh, man, he going to have to join back. My bad.
He went off on you, Coach?
No, that was me. He going to have to join back. I was trying to take the screen down, and I took him down. My bad.
All right, well, good. We already know he picked Jackson. Let's keep going.
That was me, Campbell. My bad. I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish giving your
see, Jackson people, you see what he did? He wants to cut off what is inevitable. But that's okay. That's okay. But let's talk about a couple of things on a serious tip.
Okay.
Well, I think Jackson State's going to win this game. Eddie Robinson, we talked to Coach Robinson. The one question I asked, I said, Coach, this is the first time that your offense will be leading the way. Alabama State,
He's
3
back yet, Coach?
Yeah, he's back. He's back.
So you're talking about his offensive line that he's groomed up, walk-ons, all conference. But here's the thing, what I talked about earlier. What has T.C. Taylor done that has been great? He has built that offensive line. He has Jacoby Morgan, has been in that system for 3 years, that understands what they're trying to do. Jackson State not going to get outside themselves. Now, all of a sudden, you see Savage starting to make plays or things like that. Now you're starting to see that. So the problem is, if this was an Alabama State defense the last 2-3 years, then you know what, Rocky? I might have to go with you. But it's not the same Alabama State defense. And I'm going to tell you something, 2 o'clock in that Jackson, Mississippi heat, and those guys are going up and down that field, that's when that running game, what we talk about, that running game starts to take over, and then you start seeing in the fourth quarter. And I think that's when Jackson State pulls away.
You're the expert, Coach Cole. How do you see it?
I told you, man. Look, it's gonna be tough beating Jackson State at Jackson State, but you know, Alabama A&M been real good, man. And every time I've went up against a great quarterback, we beat them. We beat Steve McNair. We beat. I've seen Willie Todden get beat. You know, it ain't about the quarterback; it's about the team. And I think Jackson State and TC Taylor, I think they got a lot more experienced guys. I don't think Alabama A&M gonna slow them down. I mean, Alabama State is gonna slow them down.
Yeah, Coach, last week, Coach, Jackson State impressed me to the point where it just looked like men among boys last week. Like they looked like they were able to do anything they wanted to. And this was after just watching Andrew Body. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can see where Andrew has a tough night. If Andrew plays, like you said, similar to Darnell Kennedy, Steve McNair, he'll have a chance. But I don't know if he'll win the game, but he'll definitely have a chance. But he has to play that well, in my opinion, for them to have a chance to win, and they still could lose. So I'm gonna take Andrew Body in this game because I believe he's a bad man from Texas.
Here's the best thing against when I face great quarterbacks. The best defense is the offense. Is to keep him off the field. He can't do nothing over on that sideline. Make sure his stints over there is long. Where he get cold and he looking at the defense and he gets frustrated. That's what Jackson State gonna have to do. Keep Andrew Body off the football field.
Let me ask you this here, Coach. With a guy like Jacoby Morgan, who has struggled in big moments, right? Like last year's SWAC championship, do you just try to shut down Jackson State's offensive line? I mean, Jackson State's running game and put the game in the hands of Jacoby Morgan?
Well, I mean, he's seasoned. Jacoby Morgan is seasoned. Hell, he's sending all these notes to you. He's seasoned. So if that running game ain't going well, he's going to have to be able to put that team on his back. I just don't think that Alabama State, when you start looking at personnel, they got a young defensive coordinator. He's been around, but this is his first year. That could be the telltale of this football game. I think a lot of pressure's more on him as the new defensive coordinator at Alabama State than anybody else that's walking into this game. Because he's got to stop a prolific offense.
You say he doesn't struggle in big games. Is the SWAC championship a big game, Paris? Was the first half of the SWAC game a big game? SWAC championship? So I'm just gonna leave that right there. But my point is, and I'm gonna ask you, Mr. Campbell, since you're a Jacksonian, in your opinion, you've seen Jacoby Morgan quite a bit. If, and this is a big if, Alabama State can contain the Jackson State running attack, and the game is put on the back of Jacoby Morgan and those wide receivers, can Jackson State win the game?
Well, absolutely, because you got to understand, Jacoby Morgan been an assistant for 3 years. This kind of what we talked about with Darnell Kennedy and Eugene and Bruce Eugene. He knows the system. He's not going to flinch. He's not going to be like, I'm going to tell you the only way Alabama State, and this is the game, if Alabama State wants to win this game, there is a blueprint for it. Go watch the Grambling game. The Grambling game is the blueprint to beat Jackson State in this type of game. Turn them over, score a bunch of points, and hope you get that last turnover. That's the way you got to beat them. But if I'm thinking Jacoby, let's just, to your point, Jackson State is down 5-4, whatever. They need a touchdown, not a field goal. And they got 5 minutes left. Yeah, I think there's no problem they're going to execute on that offense because they got the playmakers on the outside. And you got to understand, so see, Rocky, the problem with this is if Alabama State had the defense that Eddie Robinson wanted, then, yeah, I would agree with you. But this is not a good defense for Alabama State. It's not.
Again, okay. I agree with you. People don't, okay, you asked me, did I watch the Celebration Bowl? Yes, I watched the Celebration Bowl. South Carolina State scored 7 points. What pressure was on Jacoby Morgan having to score 8 points? Come on now. What I'm saying is, in a game where he's required to put up points, I'm talking 25, 26, 27 points. can he do it if it's all on his back? He's not proven that he could do that in that kind of game. He's went into every game with the best offensive line, the best running backs, and the best set of wide receivers. He's had a privilege as a quarterback. When you talk about the SWAC championship, you say he got hurt in the game. Did he come into the game hurt? Because he struggled from the first snap. Did he come into the game hurt? Because up until Zai came in, it looked like Southern definitely had a chance to win that game. And then Mr. McDonald did some special things to propel you guys into victory. And let's not overlook that. What was the score? 6-3, 6-6 when Zai came in the game? Something like that. I can't remember what it was. And that was the drive right before the first half was over. So let's not act like that didn't happen. Because it did. And I'm done.
Well, I mean, you made some good points. But like I said, the first one is this game is going to be new to is Alabama State's defensive coordinator. And we'll see how he going to do. I mean, he's playing against a high-powered offense. Jackson State coming in there with all their people. They're playing at home. They got a lot of things that they make them favorite. So we'll see. Definitely it's a big-time game. And if you're somewhere close, I would advise you to go.
Yeah.
Rocky, let me ask you a question. If you did the tail of the tape, quarterback advantage, Alabama State or Jackson State?
Alabama State.
Running backs, Alabama State or Jackson State?
Push.
Offensive.
If you say offensive line, I'm going to say Jackson State.
Offensive line, we all faded out, so I didn't hear your answer. Offensive line.
Jackson State.
Okay. Now, flip it on the side. Defensive line.
Jackson State.
Linebackers.
I'll even say that Jackson State.
Defensive backs.
I'll say push, but for argument's sake, I'll say I'll say push.
And the coaching, what do you say?
I mean TC. I got to give TC there.
So listen to what you just said. Coaching and defense, the coach, would you not agree, most likely win championships? You just gave them the coaching advantage, and we're not saying that Eddie Roberts is not a great coach, but just from what we see, and the defense, Jackson has a better defense. There's your game right there, Rocky. There's your game right there. You just said what the game is.
Well, it don't always go that way, but I get you. You're right.
Yeah. I understand. On paper, I'll even go into this. Going into this battle on paper, Jackson State is the overwhelming favorite. I'm not saying if it was a boxing match, it should be a knockout or the game would be stopped. But definitely it's a situation where all the indicators point to Jackson State winning this game. Or if it was a boxing match, it would go to Jackson State at the very least getting the decision, possibly a knockout.
Right.
But it ain't played on paper.
But you know what I do want though? Just as a fan, because Jacoby Morgan's not this type of player far as, he can put up numbers, but I'm talking about excitement. I do want Andrew Body to have a Steve McNair type game. Where people like, did he just do that? I want to have 2 or 3 of these moments in that game with Andrew where did he just escape and then go 70 yards?
Now,
did he almost get knocked down and throw a 50-yard bomb? I want that type of game because I think, again, we need that type of game for TV. So I do hope that happens.
Now, Coach, let me ask you this. Were you coaching on that Southern team that beat Steve McNair on ESPN?
No, we lost to him. We beat him his first year, but we lost to him when he broke the record. He broke the all-time total yard record. He rushed for some yards against us. Okay. Yeah. I saw him lose. I forget who beat him on ESPN. It was one of the was it Jackson State who beat him?
He beat Jackson. I know he beat Jackson State the senior because I was at that game. I don't know about the junior year, Coach.
Yeah.
And I think he lost to Jackson sophomore year.
Okay.
definitely beat him. He definitely beat him in the vet because that game was crazy. They had to go to Alcorn with the home team at that game. That was the first time I had ever seen that.
Did he beat Grambling that year? He didn't beat Grambling?
Yeah, we beat him at home his junior year, and we went to Alcorn at Southern. We lost to him.
Okay.
But he set all the NCAA records that day.
Well, yeah, I'm now, again, I'm with Andrew. I believe in Andrew, and it's gonna take a Herculean effort from the time he gets off the bus on Saturday till the last whistle. So shout out to Andrew, man, and Alabama State. I think they got a puncher's chance. I think they got a chance because they got Andrew. That's what I believe.
Now, that's what I'm saying. If he has a Steve McNair type game where people are shaking their heads and stuff like that, absolutely. But I think that's the type of game. I think he's not. I don't think Alabama State where he's going to do 150 and 60 yards on the ground. You know what I'm saying? And they ran for 280. I don't believe that. I believe he's going to have to go close to 275 and 90 minimum.
Absolutely. Hey, Coach. It's about that time, Coach. We almost to 3 hours. We're not taking any calls tonight. We're gonna let you take us out of here, Coach, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I was just letting them know who they want on the show. Let's make sure we try to make sure we get them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But hey man, appreciate another great show. Another great young man that played in this conference that have made a lot of people happy. I enjoyed the show. I worked with two guys, man, I can't say enough about. I think they think the world of them. We just trying to come in your living room, and make sure that we talk the real talk, make sure that we give you all the secrets of what's going on in our conference. And I always thank you for continuing to follow us, subscribe to us, share those things, man. We want to try to blow this thing up. So we actually want to be at those places instead of being in 3 different places. But again, thank you, man. This is a beautiful world. America is still great, man. And like I always say, if you feel yourself at the end of the rope, tie a knot and hold on tight, because ain't nobody bad.